Good evening, everyone. This is MGLaw and Shizzy Wiznut. Going to cover the Bradley Yohn sentencing tonight. I know it happened a couple of days ago, but I've been busy with real life stuff, so didn't have much of a chance.
It definitely
And
happens.
yeah, and tonight I'm just glad I made it on time because getting home from Taekwondo and getting the kids bathed and in bed and then taking a shower. I think I walked out at about 9:30 out of the shower at about 9:35. So
Oh yeah,
I was like, all
man,
right,
you
because I
just
had
feel
no idea what time
fresh,
it was.
feeling all
Because we
fresh
set
and
the
clean.
kids have their little alarm clocks, and it's got a light on it that turns green when it's time for them to get up in the morning.
Yeah.
But I set theirs a couple of minutes slow, so that when it hits 7 o'clock on their clock, it's usually about 7:05 or 7:10. It gives us a couple of more minutes to hang out before they get up, and
And,
so I forgot
and so,
about that. I was like, oh no, the clocks aren't right.
oh yeah, and so let me ask, you're needing watch hours, is that correct?
No, I need subs. I've got plenty of watch hours.
But you should
I've
only have to get 500 subs, right? So you're
Um,
almost
my
there.
thing still says 1,000. I don't know how to find the screen that says 500 for the
Wow.
memberships or anything. So, but I don't have 500 membership subs or so. I'm
Well, let's see if we can get you up to 500
already.
subs.
I'm
I'm
not
not far
sweating,
myself.
Lefty. I'm
No,
not
but
sweating.
but
I'm not
it's
sweating.
that achievement that makes it
Oh,
so
I
much
know.
fun.
It's and this. I'm gonna have to take this damn solar system mobile down because it
Hey,
spins
Danielle.
just enough and it blocks the light to the camera,
Well, and the
and
cool part
so it
about
flashes. My screen flashes, but it's just the light being blocked.
and so you just got the paid version of StreamYard. So you'll see
Yeah.
those little chain marks up there. Those are people that are chatting over on my side.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see
And
that.
so you can
Okay. So
now
Baker's on
you're
yours. Yeah.
right. Now
Okay.
they won't be able to see your chat, but your chat will be
But
able to
if I
see.
comment, it goes to both.
Yeah, and if you push that comment up and bring it up to the front of the screen,
Yeah.
both sides will be able to see it.
Yeah. Let's see who is there.
Yeah, see, you're almost there at the 500. You're just moving right
Yeah, I'm at
along.
like 450, well, 460. I've gained a
460.
couple. I've gained like 3 or 4 today.
That's nice.
So I'm
That's really
wondering if those are from the Judge Manning stream I did last night that I posted.
that was
Which
such a
I
good
kind of
one.
cheated with StreamYard because I was out of my streaming time, but I always keep a test stream open to test
Yeah.
like my audio and stuff. And I was like, it's still there, so I'm gonna do it. And it let me upload. I was like, so I could record it and upload it. So I had like, I could have taken
Nice.
10 hours, I guess, if I wanted to, but
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it was.
It's
I couldn't
awesome.
live stream it. I had to record it and upload it.
Hey,
But
it's still any way to get it up there.
glad you're here, Eris. I know it gets late for you, but
Oh
thank you
yeah.
for the like. You go over to Shizzy and like his stream as well.
Yeah, just
So
love it,
Tia
like it. I
and
saw the
Luna's
Baker.
here.
All the
Or
cool people is in the 1000
yeah,
club. Yeah, Baker, I see
yeah.
you. Oh, Baker's so much fun. We've been having a
Lefty,
great
don't even
time.
start with that. I'll time you out. The only one that could probably say that would be Rose.
Yeah.
Um,
Rose, we won't time
and I
her.
guess Caitlin can do it too. I guess, but I'll just give her a hard
Well,
time about it. She's got
well.
to feel bad. They have the same record as Auburn, so because Auburn's not very good.
Yeah. Oh, look at
And
you
David's
guys
here. I
just
guess
come
David's going
in.
into both chats.
Yeah.
And Lefty, I'm not sweating. I just got out of the shower like 20 minutes ago,
Yeah.
so still just glistening from that, I
I
guess.
know. You smell so fresh.
I know. Irish Spring
Yes.
and
So
the
clean
Head
and
and Shoulders with the bourbon scent, which my wife, I've gotten out of the shower before. My wife was like, "Did you drink?" I'm like, "No."
yes, in the shower.
Because I'll do it on my beer too, and just because it kind of softens it a little bit. And she's
Yeah.
like, "You've been drinking?" I'm like, "Nope, not yet."
Nope.
This
Not
is the
yet.
shampoo. It smells like bourbon. It's awesome.
Oh my. Well, and so Baker and I have been doing this trial stream on this. Man, it's been insane.
Yeah.
And now we're just in the trial watch portion of it to see what the
Yeah,
verdict watch portion of it.
the Rentala. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's
another
so
one.
crazy.
I just don't understand how they go after it for a
Mm,
fourth time.
yeah.
And
Or
with what they had, if this is what they, and I guess they've changed their story a little bit to try
oh
to make it
yeah,
fit
yeah. Right
this
there
time.
at the very end, they were changing their story. I was so angry, so
Hey
angry.
Danielle, what's going on?
Even Tia's over here sniffing you.
Let's
Yeah, I
see.
figured this
And
was much better
Rabbit's
than
in here also.
covering the RNC debates. I was
Yeah, I don't follow any of that. That's I didn't realize until this afternoon
well,
that
and
there was a debate tonight. I was like, oh well, I don't,
I covered the first one over on, I think it was on Rumble, or maybe it was both, but I was like, you know what? I don't like any of these candidates.
I just don't care for any of them.
Oh,
Good
so
evening, Shelley. Glad to see you here.
in the
Harris,
meats,
Lefty, Cool Gamer. Hello.
definitely. Yeah, we get these people subbing over to you.
How I feel about
Maybe
Go
sometime.
Dogs. It's as an Auburn fan, I
Hey,
can tolerate that much better than even though it's the oldest rivalry in the South,
Lefty,
Auburn and Georgia.
I'm a Georgia fan,
I
so
know,
and
but
but I
I can
still
deal
don't
with it.
love
But
anybody.
as
Yeah,
long as that deep as that rivalry is, still get along. I mean, we've like traded each other's coaches before, and
yeah,
you
yeah,
know, Pat Dye, and Shook Jordan, they were they were
yeah,
Georgia guys who coached at Auburn, and Auburn guys coached at Georgia. So
yeah.
it's not a big
Ooh,
deal.
sports balls. Yeah,
Um,
you know, and the cool part about college football, unlike the NFL, and not to knock on the NFL, but the cool part is you get that constant rotation of players that are coming through, and you know that they're not going to be there forever. And you get to watch
yeah,
them sort of come up and
yeah.
work their way to possibly even becoming like pro.
Actually,
So
yes, Tia, Old Spice
Old Spice
deodorant.
too,
Yes. Hey, what's wrong with it? Smells good.
and eat
I've
Stucky
used that for
Farms.
years too. Not just because I'm old. Oh, let's bring in.
It's
What's
spicy.
going on, Baker? Looking
Look at
all
this
cool
man.
tonight. Look at that.
Well,
I
We
I
get to
guess
hang with the cool kid.
I guess
think,
you're gonna wear
but
sunglasses. I got to wear mine too.
Yeah, well, I've got my. If it was sunny outside, they'd turn dark because they're transitions. But I mean, I could
Your volumes are
throw
really
mine
low,
on over it.
Baker.
well, I had 4 hours of sleep, so I have bloodshot eyes. So that's why I do it.
Oh, I've been drinking, so I have bloodshot eyes. So what's your point?
I haven't started drinking yet. I might need it for this
Well,
sentencing stream.
Maybe. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
I think my point is someone is having to do the heavy lifting when we do the verdict watch again today.
Yeah,
Hey, I'm here for you.
And then I could just do this.
yeah, yeah.
Hey, David.
That's funny. Chung likes guns and Sunny.
Yeah, because David was streaming Sunny in his Discord tonight, and it's pretty funny.
Still never watched that one.
It is a riot.
I feel like Baker and I are rivals now. Never.
Yeah. Well, we're at a size where we need some wars. The only way is up is drama.
Yeah, I mean, might as well have a war between Denmark and the United States.
Another roll tide, but
Or-
Rose can do it. He's all right.
or at least a food fight. You have a food fight between America and Denmark. That'd be fun.
What kept me up? Nothing kept me up, but someone just sent me a link and asked if I was up. And I have this stupid Baker clock that says everything after 4 o'clock I hear and wake. I should probably be sleeping.
Yeah, you can go back to sleep. It's no problem.
No. I'm with the cool kids now.
Well, you're the one that's got the cool sunglasses and basketball jersey. It's awesome.
Oh, he's even wearing Auburn colors for you.
Yeah. Or maybe Thunder colors. I don't know. It's got the orange and when will OU play? I don't know. Don't really know when they're going to play a team. It'll be next year when they join the SEC.
No, David.
They won't even be on equal terms. It'll be it's going to be probably a shock to them.
David, I didn't say you should step on someone. I said the only way up is drama. That's what I've been told is the real growth lies in drama.
Really? Damn.
No.
Yeah. That's why me and Lefty has been in a feud for a long time.
Oh, Lefty, shame on you. You know, you never mess with the butcher, the baker, or the candlestick maker.
Sorry. I have to say, I do miss the old schedule with Georgia and Alabama back. Well, not usually you had one stuck in between, one of the, peon teams that was the FCS or lower rated bowl series teams. But I miss the old schedule because I think you play play each other this weekend, right? I think Auburn and Georgia play this weekend. In Auburn.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had like the weakest schedule this year. I mean, it's just.
I mean, put up 21 on you, so.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, you guys should be doing a hell of a lot better. I'm disappointed in Georgia.
Well, I mean, they got Trent Dilfer as a coach, so it's his first season. It's going to be interesting to see what he can do.
That will be. No, it'll be. It. I think we can have a good season. But I think our team needs to get their head out of their ass for making it better.
When Auburn was, I don't remember when the last time I think they were decent last in 2014 when they went to the championship game.
Yeah, I mean that's sort of how it goes.
2013.
I mean, like I said, that one of the reasons I do like college football over professional football. We're not talking about soccer. Is that you've got that rotation of teams and a chance for teams to do better, and really shine. Yep. UGA on the road versus Auburn.
Yeah.
Because Sanford State.
It's going to be the CBS game, I guess, 2:30.
Yeah.
So it won't be much of a game, I'm sure.
Yeah, see, my wife is.
Hey, Shinny, how's it going?
Shinny, how you doing? Yeah, so my wife is double dog, so she did both her graduate and undergrad there at UGA for her degree.
Yeah, I understand how that is. long as you beat, really, as long as you. Well, I mean, you don't have to worry much about OSU because Gundy can't seem to beat you guys.
Well, and see, the cool thing is, if you ever want to get someone on here talking football, get Caitlin on here talking football with you.
Yeah,
she'll talk football with you.
And speaking of Twitter, actually, I was streaming to Twitter tonight. So if anybody's on Twitter watching this.
Yeah,
maybe not. I got a few followers there. So
we won't see your chat, but we'll.
Yeah,
you can always
thanks for being here
and hit that thumbs up and like and subscribe and get this man subs up.
It's foosball. Yep. Don't want you play no foosball.
See, these two guys, they've got the hard work. These two guys right here, because they have to get to 1,000 subs.
Well, I shouldn't have to, because
I
mean, I don't know why it hasn't updated.
It's that VPN that you've got turned on.
No, I don't have a VPN turned on. Yeah, it shows me as US if I go to my account. So,
but what do you say? The biggest task is given to the people with the broadest shoulders by God. So it's because we can do it.
Right. Exactly.
I probably could do it if I was able to stream during the day and cover trials live. But I've got that.
I've been having really, even though I'm not a number cruncher in most days, I have really good success in from 7. That'll be 1 p.m. till around 3 p.m. the last couple of days.
Yeah.
Because I've been on with a certain Australian person. That gave me a massive bump.
Yeah, that will give you a good bump. And
Yeah.
sometimes that's what it really takes to break out of that
Yeah.
that normal section that you're in, because then it's just you're sort of running in that circle, and you can step out of that little bit, and then you'll see that there's other people that might be interested in what you're doing.
Yeah.
Which is always really cool. And then you bring them in, next thing you know, they're checking out MLS law and you know, MG, and they'll, because they're like, hey, I've seen you on MLSs, and I'm interested in what you're doing. And
Yeah.
oh
Well,
wow.
and I was on with Gosney last night. Gosney and Megan Fox were doing a stream about Catholicism.
Yeah,
So,
that'll get you some subs
yeah.
right there too.
I don't know that I got any from that. At least while I was on stream, I didn't get any. So,
Well, it's the rewatch.
and I wasn't able to really. I had to get off at a few minutes after 8 to put the kids to bed. So then they started talking about the Pope and the Catechism and things that I could have discussed even more than what I had earlier in the stream. But I was like, I told Steve, I was like, I hate I had to leave, but
yeah,
so
but
we'll
he's
have to.
understanding.
I've been on his stream a couple of times, so I like Steve. He's pretty awesome.
He is just one of the greatest individuals that I've run into on YouTube. Like, bar none.
He'll have another book out here before you know it. So
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's like,
I don't get it how he does
like
that with his job.
You got
still writes books.
Steve has that kind of job, writes books. You got MLS that does what he does with streaming, plus a job, plus like does all this other woodworking and
sailing and all that crazy stuff.
I'm like, geez, man, it's just like
goes to Denmark and Sweden.
It's like, how many clones do you have for that?
But yeah, Okies are just Texans from Arkansas, and a lot of them actually came from further east and south because, according to my ancestry lineage thing, they actually show those from Georgia and Alabama and Tennessee migrating out, along with usually after the Trail of Tears, but around that time as well, moving out for the oil boom and that kind of stuff. So, which is kind of interesting because I know I have Native American blood, but to think that maybe some of the white blood made it out there too, out here, and now I'm out here. So it's kind of interesting.
Wow.
I'm looking through chat. I'm way back on chat because that's like way up there. That's like
that's
a
lot of that's over on my channel too. So they
and yep, there's a second button that's still buttoned. Y'all have ways to unlock that.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we get mine to 500 subs. I might just take off my shirt.
Did you say you didn't have any more space to stream? You can just delete previous streams.
No, that's not what it was.
You can only stream up to 20 hours a month.
Yeah.
But I went ahead and just did the
20 hours a month.
The plan
what plan are you on?
I was on the basic. The basic free plan was 20 hours. So I went ahead and upgraded. Upgraded it today. So I'll give it a try, see how it does for a month, and then
I ended up doing that after the first month. I think within the first 3 days I had wore it out. Some crap like that. I was like, okay, I got to do something.
Yeah, we have been doing close to 24 hours the last 3 days.
Yep.
Baker
she does look stunning, Danielle. That's right. You'll remember that for 10 years. In 10 years, be like, that was that.
Danielle will be my new
Danielle
favorite.
Girl on you. She told me I was stunning. It's just it's so few comments are so few and compliments are so few and far between for men that we remember those things.
Yeah, Danielle's awesome.
But the good thing about getting no sleep is I got the deep voice.
Yeah,
so that's a good thing. 10 packs yesterday.
Get that deep voice going. Danielle meeting with Gosney for pizza. That is awesome. I wish I could sit down and have pizza with y'all.
Yes, I mean, I was like not very far away from Danielle for my anniversary
Ooh.
trip. But
Are there really that many fights at the OU Texas game? I mean, you had the state fair going on there in Dallas, so I know there's a lot of fun stuff to do and there's a lot of drinking, but
yeah, it did. It always tends to get a little rowdy. It happens.
what's up, Brandon? Seen you in like 5 different streams today. Glad you could join us. Sober
Yeah,
talk, yeah. Well, I do have work tomorrow, but I'm not going in till later because my wife has a doctor's appointment first thing. So, there's a way to change that. Just like with the button here. But listen, Oklahoma is the only place where people can lose elephants and be called a flat plain state. We got the Tiger King too, or at least we used to. I don't know if he's still around down there.
I don't know.
I never went there. I think Shaq, when the NBA Finals was in town a couple of times in Oklahoma City, he went out to that reserve and I think I think he sponsored one of the tigers there, and there was like video of him with his tiger. Same here, Alabama and the Appalachia. So the good old Cherokees.
I'm gonna come.
So that also shows to put the shirt back on, Chizzy. So get the 500 to take it off.
Yeah, I said 500 to take it off and 1,000 to put it back on. Yeah, why not? He has to put new pants.
Thank you for the Cash App there, Shelly. I'll get you a drink here.
Oh, you guys are awesome.
She requested the button to be unbuttoned. Maybe in a bit. But
yeah, so Baker and I have actually seen this. So
yeah,
I know you are streaming it, and I started to join in or at least watch it at work, and I was like, I'm gonna stream it, and I think it'd be best that it's a surprise for me.
Yes, it should be. Should be. It surprised us. Well, Baker had seen it before me, so
I like Danielle because she says nice things, and Wim, why go and ruin my day by saying something like that? It's the American flag Dave gave me.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Daniel won't break your heart.
Yes. Give him a corner kiss for all of us.
Yeah.
Lefty, be nice to Kurt. Kurt is awesome. The guy is a freaking legal genius. He may be awkward socially, but we all are to an extent.
Yeah.
Imagine having him and Gosney and just sit between those two and have them discuss something.
Exactly. It's just saying he's just the knowledge, the Supreme Court case law knowledge he has is just incredible. That he just remembers. He can remember these things. I don't remember any of that shit. There's a few things here and there. God damn, that damn mobile is driving me nuts because it's just in the right spot
where it makes the lights go off and on,
or it just flicker. It blocks the light just enough that it flickers or something. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, my wife went and retook the bar.
Yeah, not doing that. I'm not taking another one
for a second state, so she could practice in multiple states. If she would have done it in the first 4 years, she would have been good to go. But South Carolina,
I waited long. I did reciprocal admission to another state. I was not taking another bar exam.
Yeah, well, she South Carolina wouldn't, no matter where she was from. it was within a certain period of time. So they were just like, no, you've got to take it again. Like even the federal portion of it. So she was like, yeah, I got this. It's going to suck because I can't remember a lot of it, but so she studied for about 6 months or whatever, and went and took the South Carolina State Bar and passed it like without
Yeah.
a thought. It was pretty cool.
See, and like Gosney's tries to get people to go to Florida, and I have to take a bar exam to be there, and I'm not doing. I've already told my wife I'm not taking another bar exam. Now, if I like won the lottery, and was gonna go, maybe I would sit for like an attorney's exam somewhere, because I know like California has a different exam for attorneys.
If you won the lottery, why would you even be practicing law anymore?
Well, I know. Well,
it could be a
take
small.
the cases I want to take. Do the things I want to do.
Exactly.
Help people out. It's one thing like Runkle talked about. He would like to make it to where he can do things pro bono and just do the things he wants to do. Good Lord. I don't know if y'all could hear that.
Yeah. My wife has said, she would, if she could get paid the same amount of money that she makes picking weeds, that's what she would do all day.
Yeah.
She likes pulling weeds.
Yep. If I could sit here all day, I'd have to get another monitor or two or something. But if I could do that, I'd do this. I enjoy this a lot more than having to drive all over the place and do crap. So, and I don't. I like that. I like my work, but I just he's cool with it. Do some fight milk. Let's get some fight milk going, y'all. Get on it, doggone it.
Go on, let's get some.
I can't really make mine pop. So even though I had chest day yesterday, they don't grow.
Yeah.
You got a lot of work to get the shirt off of me. That's for darn sure.
I heard it's trendy to stream subless.
Hey, if it would get me, 1,000 subs, I would take my shirt off.
Yeah, I'm not into numbers like that.
Yeah, you could come to Oklahoma. We have tigers, gators, bison, longhorns, elephants and rednecks.
Rednecks is wildlife.
And there was actually a like wild gator in Claremore last year, I want to say. And it was
I thought you were going to say there's a wild redneck.
No, they're everywhere. There's probably some down the street from me.
They grow like weeds.
I did see when I was in Illinois, I saw some bisons. There was a guy who started raising them out there because they were trying to repopulate.
Yeah.
And watching those MFers move,
they're scary.
They're big, and you can just see they don't care. If your car is there, if your tank is there, they're going through you.
Yep. There's a tallgrass preserve. It's one of the largest wild tallgrass prairies left in the world, and up in Pawhuska, Oklahoma, which is Osage territory, Osage Indian territory. But they have like 2,000 free roaming bison.
Wow.
And we've gone up there a couple of times, and when they start to move, growing up, you hear how Indians they put the ear to the ground, so you could hear you can feel it, and they run by, and it's funny, and what was it, Dancing with the Wolves? They call them Tatanka, is what they call the bison, buffalo. And so they were running by, and my wife, she just yelled at, she goes, Tatanka, and like a big one just stopped and looked at her, and goes, just grunted, and then kept running. It was like, what in the world? It's the funniest thing is it's like it like acknowledged that it's like really funny that she said that, and it just stopped.
You have a raid from
grunted,
Winning Reality.
What's that?
You have a raid from Winning Reality.
Oh, cool. I didn't see any of that.
It's just see me later is writing Winning Raid, so I'm guessing it's Winning Reality.
That might be over here.
Maybe way up in chat here.
No. It's just about Dave. You have
Excellent.
Dave, C-Swept, and over that between Lefty and C-Swept. It's
a
couple of
cool, awesome.
Nice.
Thanks, Winning Reality.
Excellent. That's what we want to see.
Yeah.
all you folks that came over there, make sure that you're sub to
and
MG
Shelly,
Law.
I did give you a shout out on I thanked you for the cash out, and I took a drink. Unless there's another one here. Maybe there's another one.
She's wanting to get more buttons off.
I think there is. Yeah, she wants the button undone.
Shizzy telling lies, prove me wrong. About what?
What are you telling lies about?
I don't know. I'm always telling lies.
MG ripped off. What do you mean ripped off?
It's not lies. It's just because we have boring lies and want to sound interesting.
Yeah.
It's entertainment.
Yeah.
I want to sound like smart and things. SMRT. Smart.
SMRT. Yes, Young is demanding.
Oh, Tia wants the pants button.
And EU, you should have the stream link if you are available. But maybe you want to play in chat like David does. And David has the link too.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep,
I think Brandon is trying to get EU into trouble.
Well, he was talking about getting me in trouble earlier, and I don't know that he was thinking if depending upon what he had going at work. And
LS shirt off. I'm in bed.
No, the shirt's not coming off. That's for sure. And MLS is in bed. His shirt probably is off. He's not on screen.
The ladies would like a little bed action with MLS.
Yeah, I'm sure they would.
I unbuttoned the button. See, y'all just didn't see it. I'm stealth with that sometimes.
Do it for Shelly. I'm her humble
finance. Oh, you would not want the shirt. You guys would be paying me to put the shirt back on. I haven't been doing Taekwondo long enough to actually get back in shape yet. So
he's turning into the expert.
Turning into the expert. Hey, I have done that. I have streamed with him with the sunglasses on, and it makes it because StreamYard's got the white background.
Yeah,
and I don't know how to. I wish I could make it a dark background, even though my browser is dark mode. StreamYard doesn't do that.
I have tried to use an extension to Chrome, and it messes everything up. Yeah. So you can't do it. You can't read the text and that. But especially sitting here for so many hours.
Yeah, it's actually worked pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not getting topless tonight, but I could drink more. Possibly.
Yeah, I could possibly drink more. I've got some wood for over here.
I would definitely put America to shame if I took my shirt off. 20 years ago, no problem.
Yeah, same.
Well, since I'm a dad, I have a dad bod.
Well,
yes.
Since I'm an old shit that stopped working out about 20 years ago.
It's been about 15 really since I consistent. And really right before COVID, I was working out, doing classes and stuff, really until I think my wife got pregnant with our daughter. And then we both stopped, and I gained weight right along with her. So I'm finally starting, after 7 years, starting to lose some of it. I've since lost some of that.
I've been doing more upper body strength because I've always been a pretty solid runner. Just you don't keep up with your push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, all that kind of stuff.
That's what I need. Well,
you're not going to see me benching like 300 pounds or whatever.
It's the actual like browser background, and I don't know how I changed that. So
you can't do that, but you can blow up the main picture, but then you can't see chat. So you could, in theory, have the chat on another screen, but still then just be that one blowing white light in your face. So it's not possible if you want to read the chats coming in.
Yeah,
it's fine, Rabbit. You can go over. I guess probably go over to
get some rest.
Do some wall push-ups. We do push-ups in Taekwondo, but haven't had to do a lot yet.
No, I don't bench Buicks for fun because I have a weak chest. I'd probably be. I can make a dent in a Buick with leg presses. Still above
Yeah, that's
1100 on a good day.
that's one thing I've enjoyed with Taekwondo is they have the big the like the bob bat, the dummies that are weighted
Mhm.
with water and sand and stuff, and I kick those things over. And then the last week, my daughter, she's won the black belt, so she has to like stand next to the bag, and I knocked it over, and she was trying to pick it up. I was like, "You're gonna hurt yourself! Stop!" I kept kicking it over. She kept trying to pick it up, but I like kicking those. It's fun kicking those things over. I am not getting shirtless, Brandon. It's gonna take a lot more to even get close to that. I have to be really, really drunk to even consider it.
Yeah, if you want to see,
And that
if
hasn't
ladies want to see
been.
me shirtless, just find it on Meme Copium stream. That's a 24-hour stream, so good luck.
Well, we've been going 36 minutes. Wow. Let's get started with
Let's make it
the
happen.
sentencing video here. I guess I could share the damn thing before I start it up.
We just do it like a podcast.
Oh boy.
Dave. What do you mean I'm yellow? I'm not yellow. Don't call me yellow. Nobody calls me yellow.
Who you calling?
There just has to be
chicken?
some incentive for me to drink on a work night. So, well, let's get started.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks
Bradley.
for the raid winning, and get some sleep.
Yes.
So, have a good one. Thank you.
Yeah, I did watch quite a bit of it. I wasn't in chat. I was just listening to it in the background.
Wow, I got like surround sound in my earbuds and my headphones there.
Yeah, they got pretty good sound here.
We'll go on the record in People versus
Yohn. He's
Adams
just
County,
coming out of the left
2021,
side.
715. Mr. Yohn is appearing in person and with his counsel, Mr. Nelson. Mr. Jones and Ms. Keck are appearing for the people. The matter was scheduled today for a sentencing hearing, but there has been a motion for judgment notwithstanding jury verdict. We're in the alternative motion for new trial, filed by Mr. Nelson on behalf of Mr. Yohn. So we should probably take that up first.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Nelson, any evidence to present on that or simply arguments?
Just argument.
Mr. Jones, have you received the motion and had time to review it?
I have, Your Honor.
You prepared to argue also?
I am, Your Honor.
All right, so Mr. Nelson, it's your motion.
Oh, they're going to argue a
Thank you, Your Honor.
judgment
Much
notwithstanding
of the
the verdict.
motion is just
Yeah.
stated clearly, I think, and for a lot of this, we will probably just rely on the written motion. The first paragraph or subparagraph of paragraph 2 is that the evidence that was presented at trial in this case was insufficient as to each of the charges, insufficient as a matter of law for the jury to find Mr. Yohn guilty. And we would ask that the court make that finding and and then proceed from there. Your Honor, do you want me to argue the rest of the motion or just take these one at a time?
I have read the motion, and so anything beyond what's contained in the motion you wish to argue, I would go ahead and make the argument. We'll let the state respond to each one, and then we'll make the decision.
Thank you. Your Honor, with respect to paragraph 2B, this paragraph pertains to
Brandon,
my
you
function as
know,
standby counsel.
we've had this
The
discussion
jury
before.
was
You know
not
what it is.
instructed as to the role of standby counsel and the role that I would be fulfilling. The court did indicate in an order of October 12th that the jury would be so informed.
Youngest
As the court is aware, there were
awesome.
numerous times during the trial that Mr. Yohn and I spoke in front of the jury, and we don't really know what the jury was thinking without that particular instruction. And as the law is that I have cited, Mr. Yohn was entitled to the perception that he alone was representing himself in this case. With respect to paragraph C, That paragraph pertains to the court denying Mr. Yohn's motion for funds for a
It was
polling
50,
service
I
to
believe,
investigate
starting off, and then we'll
whether
work from there.
a motion for change
I
of
may end
venue
up with
would
a
lie. He did
spreadsheet
include
like
numerous
Joe, though,
attachments
Brandon.
in that motion. And I
Oh,
think
you.
that the attachments that he did include at least substantially show that he was entitled to investigate that issue to see whether the veneer was prejudiced in this case. Paragraph D is pertains to Mr. Yohn's request for counsel.
You don't have to do anything,
on
Brandon.
several different
You're all right.
occasions, June 16th, June
no worries
30th,
here.
July 7th.
It's up to you.
And of
I
course, that right to
appreciate
counsel
everything. You
is
don't have to do
guaranteed
anything.
by the Constitution.
But
Paragraph
want
E,
to,
Your Honor, I will withdraw that. That is more of a post-sentencing issue rather than a post-trial issue. And then paragraph F
The clerk over here, like,
alleges that even if none of the previous errors standing alone,
Yeah,
did
she's,
not warrant a new trial, that in the aggregate, they would.
Watch her later on. She
I don't know if I
has-
can throw a shot over my shoulder, Brandon.
Thank you, Your Honor, Mr.
This
Jones.
is also the playroom
Judge, I'll take
and
the paragraphs in turn. With
homeschooling
regard to
room, so
paragraph
that would
A,
be
I
interesting.
think the evidence here it's clear that there's sufficient evidence
What does it
to support
smell
the
like
finding of
liquor
guilt
in here?
to each of the charges. The court heard the evidence that was presented at
This
trial.
this
the
poor
testimony
lady,
from the witnesses,
she
the
just
forensic evidence.
every
the,
time Yawn
testimony
moves,
about the
she
items
just
that were
looks
found
like she's
on
about to
the
jump out of
defendant,
her
the
skin.
videos that were showing the defendant driving the victim's car shortly after the incident occurred. All those things, including
See you, Dave.
to her doctor,
Later, Dave.
as well as
Sleep
the
well,
same
brother.
nurse.
Bye,
So
Dave.
I think based on the cumulative nature of the evidence and all the evidence taken together, there's clearly enough evidence for the jury to find those convictions. It's not even including the fact that the defendant's fingerprint was found on the spray can and the victim's DNA was found on that same spray can, including the footprint evidence, all that other evidence. I think there was more than enough evidence for the jury to find him guilty. And the fact that the jury did find him guilty. With regard to paragraph B, I would have 2 points. One, the defendant had every opportunity to offer any jury instructions that he wanted to offer, and he chose not to offer such an instruction. So that was his choice. He was representing himself. He cannot later complain that he failed to offer the instruction. That was somehow insufficient when he had that opportunity and chose not to do that. But also point out that at no point in the trial did the people mention role of standby counsel. It was never brought to the jury's attention. We didn't say a word about it. The court never said a word about it. If that had been an issue, perhaps it should have been addressed, but it was never an issue at trial. So the question about what the jury was thinking, I guess we can never know, but it was certainly never brought to the jury's attention. It was certainly never raised at trial that this was something that we should be concerned about. With regard to paragraph C, the court did hear the defendant's motion for funds for polling service. It was denied based on the evidence that was presented. In fact, at voir dire, the court conducted extensive voir dire with members of the jury panel, and any individuals who had heard about the case and were not able to set that aside were dismissed. We were able to get a jury, frankly, relatively easily based on the nature of the case. It did not take as long as a trial that Ms. Keck and I had done, maybe perhaps a month before that. So again, I think that can be denied or should be denied as well. And it was not error for the court to deny that motion. With regard to paragraph D, again, I think the court made.
I had a little beep, and I was trying to figure out where it was coming from. It's EU. What's going on?
You?
Hey.
Yeah, they were right. You're not wearing a shirt.
It's just your hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hang on.
And
Yeah.
And just remember, everybody, EU is naked underneath all those clothes.
Underneath, yes.
And shout out to Brandon for the Cash App donation. Thank you very much. We'll start
Cheers,
with one
Brandon.
here. I had a little bit left over, and then I'll down the other one here in a minute.
Is he buying you drinks, is he?
Mm-hmm. It's gonna
That's
mess me up.
naughty.
Got my little ice ball in there.
Is
Can
he
freeze it.
really? Hey, everybody.
How are you doing today? That's or tomorrow, EU.
It's tomorrow indeed. It is Thursday, 1:30 p.m. And
Wow.
it just started raining outside.
Well, that's always good.
I know. So I couldn't resist. I want to watch this. I haven't actually watched it. And Wesley told me that there were many excited utterances. Apparently.
Yeah, well, we've been going like 40 minutes, and we just started.
I know.
this a couple
I've
minutes ago.
had you guys sort of on the background whilst I've been doing some work. So yeah. I'm curious to see what the utterances are. Sea Swept, you're cute. Luna, you're cute too. Ew, you're supposed to be topless. Look, this is the closest I'm going to get. Right? Ready?
All right.
Just see my tat.
Yeah, tattoo on the shoulder. What is it? It's a
Done.
flower, like a
It's orchids.
orchids. Okay.
Ready? You call EU Sheila all the time for the last few weeks,
Sheila.
and she doesn't giggle.
She probably hears it a
Sheila
lot.
isn't.
So it's like,
No, I don't. We don't say Sheila here
Really?
at all. No,
oh, I mean,
not even a little bit.
not according to Crocodile Dundee. It's like every
Yeah.
other Sheila, you know.
Yeah, no, it's one of those sort of, we call it stereotypes that just isn't true at all. We
There
don't
was the
say
second
it.
one, Brandon. Just so you saw it.
Better than that bum.
Yeah, you took your
MG.
shirt off, showing your shoulders. I've just got my buttons undone here, so there, all the buttons are undone. Just so you're
Baker,
happy.
you need to take something off now.
He's got his jersey on.
Yeah, he's wearing less than he normally would.
No, he wears that all the time.
My cash app hasn't
That's right.
said ding yet. So
It's on the
I
bathroom
haven't-
door at Outback,
Hey, hey.
Steakhouse.
Brandon doesn't have to pay me anything. As far as I'm concerned, Brandon's a nice guy. I like him. Anyway,
We're gonna.
does not
I
have
think
to
we all
spend a cent.
love Brandon. He's
All love
he's the Loki
Brandon.
of the
we're gonna-
YouTube universe, but he gets us into the good kinds of fun.
He does.
Trouble.
And don't need a cent from Brandon. Just pleased to have him around.
I mean,
So
Yeah,
I wish I had High C Ecto Cooler, Lefty. No, it's
What
just
is that?
water.
chase it with high C. What?
I'll do.
Ecto Cooler
I'll
is
bet
the
the-
High C
what you're talking
green
about.
juice box, but
I'll
it's
bet this.
Ecto Cooler is from Ghostbusters. It came out. They had a Slimer on it. It was a green High C flavor. It was called the Ecto Cooler.
Okay.
Hey Mel,
Yeah,
what's
that's
going on?
Hey Mel. I mean,
Hey, MJ.
I'll do my hair up. How's this?
Here, Baker. There's
here there's a
If
reason my camera only goes to here.
Yeah.
From here
Oh,
on,
really?
it goes
exactly.
into the what's his name from now? You just mentioned Ghostbusters, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man or whatever his name is. this part up, it's okay. The rest of it, you don't want to see it. And I have to have 2 tube socks to just make a small dent, showing that there might be something down there.
Is it not what we're expecting? Have you been transitioning?
No, I'm just
Yes.
not gifted naturally.
Shizzy, do you know something we don't? like you knew last time. We were just talking about that this morning, actually. This morning, my time.
I know so many things.
You know so much.
So much.
This is
you're
like
funny.
proving your innocence, proving you don't have a peen.
Proving you don't have.
I can't.
Yeah.
Well, okay, let's do it on screen.
Oh!
Well, I mean, I may not be wearing pants right now.
Send it down 45 degrees.
Did you guys just hear the thunder just then that occurred?
I didn't.
Yeah, that was the sound of me knocking on your door, EU.
Oh.
Oh, I messed up.
What? Who? Yeah, I'm not wearing pants.
No one wears pants online.
Yeah, they're
No.
pants are prison.
Apparently.
There have been times I have worn my flannel pajama pants, but God, after the end of the stream, you're just kind of warm. So
Oh, Brandon, you said that this morning.
I said at the beginning of the stream, he's a busy guy.
Yeah.
Well,
Great
he
stamina.
keeps threatening. He keeps threatening. but it
It's
never
years
happens.
ago since I could do it twice in 50 minutes.
Well, I
That's
think he's
it.
having trouble. All right, don't let me hold you up. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, let's get
I want to see it.
started. Yeah.
Sufficient record of the
There.
denial for his request for counsel, that it was done to delay the trial, much like when he asked for counsel in, was it April? I believe in April of that year, or March.
Did Luna
We were
change the picture
here ready
again?
for trial, and right before the jury came in, he requested counsel
No.
to be appointed, only to
I
find
think it's the
Mr.
same
Nelson
one.
a few days or weeks later. Again, I think the court made
Can't see it
a
when it's
sufficient
not my
record
stream.
at the time that he made those requests in June and July, that he was doing it for delay. And frankly, Your Honor, if the court had granted it, he was just going to fire him because that's what
Object, Your Honor.
Only
Mr. Young,
15
you have
inches.
Counsel, so you will not be objecting during this hearing. It'll be up to the
Bam!
attorney to decide if an objection will be made, and if so, what the grounds for that would be for.
With regard to paragraph E, I know that Mr. Nelson has withdrawn that, but I would tell the court that today we'll be moving to dismiss count two.
Getting a bit more coffee.
We'll be doing that because the count two is based on a criminal, I'm sorry, count two was based on count 5, the aggravated criminal.
Facts
sexual
not in
assault.
evidence, Luna.
And out of abundance. of
Get on
caution
stream,
to
Luna.
ensure that any sentence imposed by the court is appropriate, we're going to move to dismiss count 2 so there won't be issues with one act on crime or with count 2 and count 5 somehow merging. So we'll be moving to do that today. As far as paragraph F, again, there are no, I don't think there have been any errors in this trial, and certainly any cumulative value of those errors is not
Nice.
enough to rise to the standard that requires a new trial or a judgment notwithstanding the jury's verdict. We'd ask the motion in its entirety to be denied.
Mr. Nelson, last word.
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Court has considered the arguments made. I've also had time to research the motion as it was timely filed back on September 1st. And as to the allegations in paragraph 2A, the court is in disagreement. I specifically went through each of the
I have no
6
light.
counts.
Well,
each
they're not in
element of
evidence
each
here,
crime that the jury returned
Shelley.
its guilty verdicts on, and believe there was sufficient evidence of proof beyond a reasonable doubt for the jury to reach a conviction of Mr. Yohn in each
That's
of those 6
awesome.
counts. As to paragraph 2B, not instructing the jury as to the role of standby counsel, Mr. Yohn, in representing himself, had the obligation to raise the objection at the time, or also to provide a instruction proposed for.
I think the
jury
boys want to
too,
link to
though,
that,
so
Melissa Jane.
As he had not done so, he has not
Well,
raised the issue in a timely
I've
fashion.
seen
I
that.
think I've been on
I
that
bet you have.
on a
That
stream.
argument is waived by Mr. Yohn's
Right.
inactivity in bringing that to court's
So Hal and I
attention
were
at the appropriate
in the
time.
back room with Melissa
Nor
Jane.
did I have
Where
any
are you
indication
now?
from the jury that they had any
Yeah.
question as to
That
Mr.
was-
Nelson's role as standby counsel.
Quite exciting.
As to paragraph 2C,
Sure
the
was.
improperly denying funds to hire a polling service. Again, at the appropriate time, no objection was made by Mr. Yohn when he was representing himself. And as Mr. Jones has argued, there was no difficulty in finding 12 jurors to hear this case during jury selection and board hire.
It might have
Each was
happened on
asked
somewhat on
individually
other
as to
channel
their
streams though. Might not have been on
knowledge
MJ's.
and being exposed to any pretrial publicity, and each of the jurors who were chosen agreed that they could set aside anything they had heard or read about this case and reach their verdict solely upon the evidence that was brought forth during the trial.
Yes.
As to paragraph 2D, that the court improperly denied the appointment
It
of
has been a
counsel.
while, but yeah.
As argued by Mr. Jones, and
Yeah,
as
a
the
few
record
months.
will clearly show, Mr. Yohn had played the game of
Oh,
coming up
we
to
could have some
trial,
conversations
pro
with
se,
Melissa Jane.
getting a continuance for counsel to be appointed. He was admonished prior to going pro se that he would not be allowed to change his mind. Counsel was reappointed. A delay of the jury trial occurred last year.
Sorry,
He then
Brandon.
discharged counsel that was appointed for him and wanted to go pro se.
What song
He
was it? I
again
don't think I heard it.
admonished
Mr.
that
Jones.
he would not
Oh
have
yeah,
the opportunity
that's
to
what I.
change his
Okay,
mind.
in my mind, that's what I
And so it
was
was only
singing
within
in my mind.
weeks of the
When I read
trial
that,
that he thereafter
for some
decided
reason.
he wanted
I guess
an
it's because
attorney
you sang
appointed.
it.
It's a good
Mr.
song.
Yohn wants to fall upon the sword of
Mr.
I have a right to
Jones,
counsel in this argument, but Mr. Yohn also had the right to represent himself pro se. That is the choice he knowingly and voluntarily made. And so we
Yeah.
weren't going to repeat the cycle a third
You're
time.
already a
As the
sub,
court previously found,
Jude
the motions for
Curio.
appointment of counsel were for the sole purpose of delay.
You tried to do
So-
what?
Got the hat
Motion
on.
is
There you
denied
go,
as to the
Baker.
request in 2D.
Baker's even cooler
Glad
Glad
now.
you're a sub.
Mr.
She's
Thank
need the
you.
glasses on
The
too.
withdrawal of 2E.
Yeah, but
Glasses
it-
with the
I-
backwards hat.
I have some really exciting stuff coming up, Jude. Thank you.
Such errors.
You can only put so many things on that his
So the motion is
earbuds
denied
are
Yeah.
in whole
being
for
way
those
out here.
reasons.
It's I can't see the
Please
chat
sing
when I
that
have my
song.
glasses
Proceed
on.
with a sentencing hearing in this
It's the
matter.
wrong
And
distance.
Is the state prepared for sentencing hearing?
We are, Your Honor.
And Mr. Nelson, are you prepared for the defense?
Yes.
Yeah.
The court has received a pre-sentence investigation report.
All right.
The original report is in
Is there
22
anything
CF
else?
671.
Mr.
filed on
Jones
June
is
1st of
counting
2023.
crows.
It is referenced
Yes.
in the
Yes.
Yes,
Pre-sentence
there's
investigation
crows
report.
in
And how many were there?
filed in this matter.
Many,
21 CF
Oh, wow.
many
715.
crows.
And that was filed also June 1st.
Put a do-rag on. No, it's a hat, I think.
There's been a first supplement to the pre-sentence investigation report that was recently filed.
Usually in the summer, I'll wear a do-rag.
Mr. Jones, have you received a copy of each of those pre-sentence investigation reports?
I
My
have,
hairline keeps going the way it
Now,
does, and I'll
any
probably end up
additions
with
or
a do-rag
corrections
at some
to the
point.
yes, Your Honor, we have one
No,
correction.
I use it to
note
stop
on
the
front
amount of
page
sweat
of the
that,
first supplement.
that I
To
sweat.
the
Wow.
pre-sentence investigation.
Frank, are you saying trans
Days
again?
served are 611. That is correct in the sense.
No,
that
lefty is.
when it stopped.
No,
but it
Baker
stopped
is.
when he was taken to the Department of Corrections, so he's actually entitled to
Murder's worth
680
of
days.
crows.
And we've asked
Yeah,
him
it
to
is.
do that.
That's a lot.
So with that correction being made,
what a
Mr.
flock of
Nelson, have you
crows is
received those
called.
pre-sentence investigation reports and supplements?
Called a
I
murder.
did, Your Honor.
And are there any corrections or additions?
Who
Your Honor,
came
we
up
had
with
the
that? I
same,
don't know.
Correction with respect to credit for days served.
I
We
can
have
do
no
an
other
excellent crow
corrections
impression.
and,
However,
no additions.
Judge, I apologize.
you
We
don't
have
want to
another
hear it on the
correction
stream.
to
You'll
note.
all,
The
your ears
court
will
had
just
received a pre-sentence
implode.
investigation, a victim impact statement from Ilsa Terrell, the daughter of the victim.
She saves that for the bedroom.
That had been updated.
Sure,
and
yeah.
corrected.
Yes.
Mr. Nelson
That's what it's
gets a
for.
copy of that today. That's what I need to make record of that.
Oh, I probably should have
Court
eaten
did
something
receive
before
that.
drinking those
Mr.
3
Nelson, have
shots.
you received the Ilsa Terrell victim
No,
impact statement?
it makes it fun.
More recent one than the one that passed.
Oh, yeah.
Southern Cross is a great song. I heard it on the radio the other day, and the kids were wanting me to. I think my wife wanted me to change it. I was like, I'm not changing this song. This is
We have
great.
one witness that we would call, Your Honor, and then there are multiple victim impacts.
Man, there's so many songs I would love to use
Crosby,
for an
Stills, and
intro.
Nash.
If you're prepared to do so,
People would call John Shoney to the stand.
you'd come forward, sir, to the clerk. And we'll have you raise
It's a
your
murder
right
of
hand.
crows and a flock of seagulls.
That's right, it's a murder.
I'm not gonna
That's what I could
pull a
say.
Gosney.
That's a great name for a collective
I
term.
will
a
not
murder.
be going.
Mr. Jones,
Oh, here we go. First
Oh,
impact
this
statement.
is good.
John Shoney,
What do you do for a living?
we
investigator
go.
at the
Oh,
Adams County
yes.
Sheriff's Office.
The guy who goes to
A few
Shoney's.
weeks ago, did you receive or have a meeting with
I want to go
an
to
individual you
Shoney's.
know by the name of Tim Schmidt?
Yes,
Can you tell me why Mr. Schmidt approached you?
he had received a letter in the mail from the defendant.
Did you get a chance to review that letter?
Yes,
In the course of this trial, have you had the opportunity to review numerous?
No, pulling a
filings
Gosney would be
made
passing
by
out
the
on
defendant in his
stream.
handwriting?
yes,
Hundreds.
yes,
Did you review the letter that Mr. Schmidt provided? you?
But
I did.
I am
In
curious
your
who's going to have
Opinion, did it appear to be
a
the same
Halloween
handwriting?
costume.
Yes,
Did
like
the letter
that this
also
year?
include information that would be consistent with an individual? who
Of
had
all
knowledge
the
of
interesting
was in
experiences
fact signed
he's had in
Mr.
his
Bradley
life,
Yohn at the bottom
that's
of that
actually
letter.
quite a cool one to
Yes.
say that
It was
he's
dated
yelled at a
August
fake
10th,
superhero.
2023. Is that
Group
correct?
of baboons as a Congress? Well, yeah, I mean, they're
How
in
many people
Washington.
can say that?
Parts of that letter. Do you have a copy of that letter with you?
I do. I
Congress of
left it
baboons.
at my seat, but
They
yes.
all show their
Your
ass
well,
too.
be allowed to-
Yes,
to
they do.
get that copy below and bring it back to the witness.
They love to show their ass.
Speed things up.
Like to sling it around too.
Exactly.
Why is this dude here? Like, he's law enforcement.
And why is
Because
it's
he
kind of
was-
wondering why?
letter.
It's usually victim impact statements are
No,
actually like
this is actually really important, but you
I'm
missed
not
it.
going to read all 8 pages.
Yeah, yeah,
I just
let's
wanna talk
pause
about
it for a
the few
second.
paragraphs in the letter.
This is a law enforcement officer who's going to testify to the letter the defendant sent to the victim's husband. So this is actually, if you're not ready to throw hands, just keep calm, listen to this, and get your knuckle dusters out.
I have some wrestling somewhere. Sort of, maybe not. Lost them.
Do you know where that is? This is
Yeah, mine's up there
who's-
somewhere.
Oh, they're talking about this deputy.
Luna is simping hard as she always is. We love Luna.
Yeah,
This is
Yeah.
just Luna's type.
she was.
Big white man.
She had to get the
Nasty
mops
white
out
man.
for Baker
Let's-
the other night.
Let's put it this way: all the ladies, as soon as this guy came on here, they went just
Yes,
like,
see. Except me.
well,
Mhm.
you're weird.
Sorry, he's
Yeah.
white. He's very white. It's not my kind.
We don't see color, but
Yeah.
You
that's
don't?
okay.
Good for you.
Yeah,
Just a preference. Anyway,
But if you want to get enraged, just listen to what
I
this
want
man
to listen
sent
to him.
to the husband of a deceased.
So he's going to read the
77-year-old
letter.
wife.
He's going to
No,
read
not
the
all
letter.
of it, but we'll get into what he put in there.
All right.
Yes,
The
because
letter
this is
starts
what
with
was
the word Tim, and then it goes on to say in the defendant's handwriting, I often ask myself, how unhonest can a person truly be? How does a man with whom is with a woman 36 years not know that woman as he truly should? Did I read that correctly?
Correct.
Did he then continue to say, one thing I ask that I cannot ask myself, did you get your money's worth? Did I read that correctly?
That's correct.
The letter goes on to say, did Tim Schmidt and family get what they paid for with their money, power, and influence? You have my life now, Tim, and guess what? I was no part of the idiocy that occurred on November 9th or whenever. Did I read that correct?
Correct.
On the second page of that letter, did he write approximately 6 lines down? Lies, deceit, fabrication, manipulations, power, wealth, influence, and friends in high places just took that from me, all put forth by your family and you.
That's correct.
On the third page of that letter, did he write, a lot of people lied in this matter. They went off what they were led to believe, and then some even added things. Do you like liars, Tim?
That's correct.
On the next page of that letter, the first full paragraph, once again, if I were included, nothing like that would have been left. You people made the perfect crime scene, Tim. Did I read that correctly?
Correct.
The 2 key objects just left right there. How convenient! Exclamation point. You could have at least made it look good by throwing it out in the driveway or bushes, but no. Aerosol can and knife just left right there in the middle of the floor. Yeah, okay, not likely. Did I read that correctly?
That's correct.
Well, it's not after dark for him. It's morning for him, so he's got to drink coffee.
The next page of the letter,
This-
did he write this?
this is
I'll
before
tell you
night.
how your influence is going to get a lot of people
It's
into
almost 6 a.m.
Some just were not slick enough, Tim. For example, Kelsey Miller or Josh Jones, whoever it was that tampered with your wife's statement. That's not over. We have higher courts than Adams. Did I write that correctly?
Correct.
Or read that correctly?
Correct.
Yeah, I want to really reach through and slap the yawn.
Thank you. That's all the questions I have.
Mr. Nelson, any cross?
No, thank you.
Good call.
How do they get? Hang on, he's not a witness, is he? Why do they get to cross
Yes, he is a
examine?
witness.
Okay.
Okay, so
Whenever the
here,
court
pause for a second so I
Yeah.
can explain this a little bit.
Sure.
Okay, so this letter, if I'm not mistaken, was retrieved that he was sending out from the jail, and this is the person that actually read the letter. So he's testifying as a witness to this is what the letter said that
Yeah.
that Yohn wanted to send to the family,
Yeah.
Oh.
to the husband of the deceased woman, the woman that he violently
Yeah. Yeah.
essayed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this
I know
is the
guy.
kind of stuff that he was sending to the husband.
Yeah,
Wow.
the husband contacted this officer, gave him the letter in where he states that it was a fabrication, it was lies, it was a setup, and he didn't know his wife. So, yeah, he was
Okay, and it
just,
was intercepted.
No,
Yes.
it was given to the officer because I thought they had found it as well.
I
But after re-listening to it, it was sent to Tim Schmidt, who gave it to the officer.
Yes.
That's why I said,
What?
listen now, and you want to punish your screen later.
Yeah.
What? It
Well,
actually
and-
got to him.
And Wim has reached that. He's trying not to punch the screen.
Yeah. Don't. It's not worth it because it gets
You ruin your screen.
much.
There's no
It gets
point-
much
don't do that.
worse So if you need to step back
Save
at
it.
least
Yeah,
6
save it.
feet
Save
from
it
your
for a little bit.
screen.
Gee, that's the kind of thing you hope gets intercepted. Jeez.
But it
No,
did.
yeah, it gets worse.
And
Your
yeah,
Honor, we'll have
now
that
it's the
read
victim
from
statements.
the witness
Yeah,
stand
okay.
that
Okay.
will be heard, if that's okay.
And they're short.
First, we
They're
have
not
the-
long
Thank-
witness
Thanks
statements.
for explaining. I would have had to sort of go back.
If you come
Wait
forward
that
and
out.
seek
This
to
is
be
the husband.
So here comes the husband.
Yeah,
Yes.
here he
Statements
is.
are not
I
under
know
oath
this
and
guy.
are
He
not
had to come
subject to
back, like so
cross-examination. We're
many.
simply having you
Yeah.
give your statement from the stand, so
And-
you're close to
Yeah,
the
okay,
microphone.
Cat. Geez, you're a whiner.
Meow.
Come here.
He knows the drill.
Look
Got
over
the
yourself.
buttons
Just so I can
undone.
help,
Look at
if you could
that.
state your name and spell your last name for the court reporter first.
I'm sure he's stressed.
Okay,
so.
It's Tim or Timothy Schmidt, SCHMITT.
Meow.
Oh, you're all wet from outside. No.
Mr.
I know
Yohn,
all the
you've heard a
comments
lot
are
of
going to
people,
happen now.
including my wife and me and her family,
Oh, you get caught in the rain.
and including yourself. How would you like this to have happened
Oh.
to your mother or your sister or any other of your family? You're a menace to society. And they're going to send you to prison, and they're not going to let you out. I hope you repent and ask God for his forgiveness.
My dress
You're gonna
shirts
have
have
plenty of
more
time there to
buttons.
think about it.
But I took it off when I got home today.
Heidi Young, Your Honor.
So maybe one night I'll wear a dress shirt and y'all can work on that.
That's all he had to say.
Yeah. This,
So if you talk, you'll miss a lot of
My name's
these.
Heidi Young. It's Young. My mom was a wonderful mother, grandmother, great-grandmother. She adored her family, would do anything for us. You could call her with a problem and she would figure it out. If you were facing an important decision, she would listen to you, but ultimately she would always tell you to do the right thing. Many times the right thing was not the thing you wanted to do. On November 9th, 2021, my mom had put in a hard day at work and was exhausted. She was heading home to take a nap and freshen up before she went out to eat dinner with her husband. However, on her way home, she had the misfortune of running into you and Karen Blackledge Henderson. We all know what happened after that. I'm not going to go into that. We've all been through that. My husband and I drove her to Blessing ER to have the sexual assault kit done. She was exhausted, hurting, scared, hungry, thirsty. She was bleeding and still in shock. The sexual assault kit was an invasive and embarrassing procedure. I wanted to protect her and make it stop. I sat there wondering why she was putting herself through more pain and humiliation. The next day, she told me why. It wasn't for her. It wasn't for the police or even to get justice. Her main concern was that you could not hurt anybody else the way you had hurt her. You see, she did the right thing. Had you done the right thing that night and just helped my mom with her headlights and went on about your merry way, we wouldn't be here today. And my mom would be here today. Now, I know we cannot hold you accountable for her death in this court, but we all know that you're responsible for her death. Had she not been brutally assaulted by you, I have no doubt she would be here today. Mr. Yohn, have you ever thought about how different your life would be if you ever did the right thing? I mean, you have said that you had various construction jobs. Could you imagine what your life would look like today if you kept working hard and doing the right thing? Probably own your own construction company, probably have a nice house, fancy car, beautiful family, maybe even a dog in the yard. However, here we are. You keep choosing the wrong thing and
I
leading a
did.
path of destruction.
Didn't you see
You've hurt
me?
innocent
I
people
did.
and have taken
Yeah.
what isn't yours. Now you're facing a lot of time in prison. People say to me, aren't you glad justice is being served and now maybe you can move on? Well,
Do it
no
again.
amount of
she's
time
holding
can bring my mom
so
back.
she's holding the cat
And
up
I'm not
there.
sure I can ever
No,
move
I lost
on.
it. Ready?
However, I agree
Yeah.
with my mom.
Go on.
I don't want you to be able to hurt anyone else like you hurt her. And I want no other family to go through the devastating
Hey,
grief
I-
we've gone through.
I drank my shots,
With your
Brandon.
long criminal history, I feel the only way to keep everyone safe is for you to be away from the public for a very long time. What am I going to do now? I'm going to try to heal up from all this. I'm going to try not to harbor bitterness in my heart. I'm going to love my family with everything I have in me. And you know what else I'm going to do? I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to pray that while in prison, you start doing the right thing. That when you're
Yep.
faced with a decision,
Yep.
you start doing the right thing. And I'm also going to pray that you find a close personal relationship with God and that you turn your life around. Why in the world would I do that after everything you did to my mom and my family? Why? Well, because it's what my mom would have wanted me to do. It's the right thing.
It's just on 1.25, but it does seem a little fast.
Michael Lohman, Your Honor.
And I can slow it down.
Yeah,
I
look
probably
at
wanted
this
to get the hell
stare.
out of there.
Look at this stare that he's giving her.
Ooh.
What a jackass.
I apologize, Your Honor. Michael Lohman is not here. It has been provided to the court.
Jackass.
He's asked that we read that into the record today, Your Honor, with the court's permission.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
As a
run
son,
it
I was
through
both surprised and shocked
fast
by what
speed.
I learned in the courtroom. I was not told a lot of the details of the attack on my mother, Tina Lohman Schmidt. This was probably to shield us from knowing the severity of what happened. My mother was mentally strong, able to block out what happened to her while never forgetting it. Since the attack,
Taking
my
what
family has
seriously?
had to
I
change
have,
our lifestyle. I no longer go to bed without making sure all the doors are locked and security system is on. We now find ourselves less likely to help others, nor do we allow others to help us. As a father of daughters, I continue to express the strengths of my mother and how she was not afraid to stand up to those who attacked her and robbed her at knife point. We will never understand what was going on in your mind when you attacked my mother. While our lives go on, we continue to remember and pass on the grace and kindness my mother showed to people. We also look at the fact that because of your actions, my daughter won't have her grandmother at her wedding, and my grandchild will not get to play and know their great-grandmother. Money, cars, and jewelry, even rosaries, can be replaced. My mother cannot. I hope that you think about
I know,
what you
right?
I
did
knew it
and
looked
know that your
familiar. I
actions
knew that
put
shirt
you
looked
in the
familiar.
position you are in
It's
today.
Becky.
Arizona Pecan. And
Becky.
she's like looking
Derek
at the
Loman,
screen. She's
Your
like
Honor?
looking at her screen like this.
What state is this?
This is
Illinois.
Illinois. Well,
Or for
Becky's
some of the
taking a quick
rednecks,
trip.
Illinois.
Or maybe it's Becky's sister.
The S is silent.
Derek Loman, LOHMAN.
Although I don't really think this
During
jury
the
needed
trial,
any
one
tampering.
person in the media asked what I would say to Bradley Yohn if he was sitting across the table from me. My answer was nothing. I don't know this man. He's just some violent person who unfortunately encountered my mother on a dark road when she was vulnerable. He has no bearing on our lives, and after he's hopefully sentenced to spend the rest of his life in prison, I won't give him a second thought. The real tragedy is the legal system that failed Tina Lohman in the first place.
Not only that,
In
Brandon,
St. Charles County, Missouri,
Kitty is
Yohn
wet.
was released accidentally
Yes.
Very.
due to the failure
He's
of
playing with
Sergeant
the
Garrett
wet.
Hempworth
The wet.
to enter
Very
a warrant
wet.
to
Playing
arrest
with
properly, and he was
your
allowed
wet
to leave the
kitty.
jail without being held fully accountable.
Quite moist, aren't you?
Most people would have used this accident as a second chance to stay out of trouble.
Soaking wet.
Soaking.
Several days after being accidentally released, Bradley Yohn stole vehicles
My
and then
neck.
continued to rob,
My bad.
rape, and instill fear into my mother. He had several chances to take the money and jewelry and just leave her alone. That's all he had to do. He chose to brutalize her and commit an assault on her body, escalating the scenario for his sick pleasure. Bradley Yohn has proven that he cannot live in a normal society without assaulting others and needs to be removed from society permanently for the safety of those who do the right things and don't take advantage of others. I would ask this court to sentence Bradley Yohn to the maximum sentence allowable to make sure this waste of a human life can never terrorize another innocent person. Tina Lohman did not deserve this person to intrude into her life, a life filled with children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren, which she loved and lived for. I was fortunate to spend the week with my mother after the attack, but unfortunately this time was filled with fear and dread at going back to her home where this awful crime occurred, a home where she had previously felt safe and celebrated the holidays with family. Not long after, Tina Lohman passed away and left a gaping hole in our family which will never be filled. Please make sure this doesn't happen to another family by sentencing Bradley Yohn to the fullest extent of the law. He has shown no remorse for his actions. I think he needs to be held fully accountable. Thank you.
And here comes another
Ilsa
look.
Terrell.
Oh, they didn't show him that time.
Yeah. Every chance he gets, he's staring each one of these people down.
Just
Yeah.
100%.
I'm Ilsa Terrell, Terrell.
I don't remember her.
You didn't
Mr.
testify.
Yohn, whatever it is.
I'm going to pause it. Yohn,
Oh.
Yohn, whatever.
Yeah.
We're going to bring on another one. If you got
Uh-oh.
your shades, put them on
Oh boy.
because it's the expert.
This dude stole her rosary.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
That wasn't all he stole.
She stole your hearts too.
Actually,
that's
I saw
expert.
Baker. I didn't know what was
Expert
going on.
in
Flipping
EU.
through the tubes, I saw Baker wearing a tank top. I was like, oh. And then I saw the subject matter. I was like,
Yeah, I have to get my shirt off because I'm in a fighting mood.
I have to
Yeah.
agree with wood chipper feet first, slowly. So like what
I
was
mean,
one of the James Bond movies
yeah,
Yeah, this
where he
is
heads up in the shredder.
it was a harsh
Slowly.
one. So
Yeah.
forgive us if we end up with gallows humor in the middle of this, but it's pretty.
We
pretty
have
rough.
to.
guys. Hope you're all doing well. Besides that,
Yeah. How about you, brother?
yeah, had
Good
a
to
good
see
day,
you.
man. Hung out the wife.
How much for another layer off?
Brandon, I don't need any
I-
money from you.
You're
You
one
do
layer
it for
away.
free.
Well, but
He's
if he gives it to me, will you take your top off?
Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. Did you hear that? I
Yeah.
don't need any money for you. Did you check the request?
Yeah.
I know what the request is. He wants me to take clothes off. But
You don't
Either
have
that,
regardless.
or
money.
it's either that, or the boys have to drink.
Oh,
Oh, jeez. Well,
Oh, no,
I
that's
know
good.
that
I like
I know
Brandon
that-
anyway. He doesn't have to give any money.
I know that the expert he likes to pound them back, especially whenever they are Dr. Peppers. So, you've
Well,
got
I've still got that much Shackleton left. So
Well, I'm looking. I don't see anything showing up on Cash App over here, so I'm good. I don't have to drink. Besides, it's getting late.
well,
I'm kidding. No, please don't.
Yeah,
I
no.
I drink when I
You were
want to.
drinking
how
earlier
much I
today,
want to.
weren't you?
Yeah. That was about lunchtime because I was ready to throttle
That's true. That's true.
Expert waits until game day.
Boy, I tell you
Sneaks
what,
that flask into the Vols games.
I don't think you
He's
have
got-
to sneak anymore.
He's got strapped
know.
to his hip.
I know we did it at we went to Oklahoma State games a couple of times. 'Cause my wife did our undergrad there, and one of my coworkers had season tickets that they would let us use because they had extras, and so we would go and tailgate with them, and then we would all sneak in the good stuff into the game.
Yeah, it's well, they have you can buy alcohol now. Have you been to a college game that you can buy alcohol?
I haven't. I have not been to a college football game in several. It's been since before my kids were born. So
Don't go.
You can buy
plan on-
alcohol now.
well, yeah. No, the
How do-
NCAA had a rule that for a long
How
time.
do you get in fights if you don't get drunk?
Alcohol could not, because you would drink
What's the fun in
outside. You
that?
drink beforehand. So there were a couple of times that I went to a Tulsa game, and they had beer stands set up outside the gate where you could buy beer before you walked in. So you could buy it, drink it outside the gates, and then go into the game. And Oklahoma State was the same way. I haven't been to an OU game, but I'm sure they had the same thing. If you knew people, even knew people who you knew the right people, they were tailgating and getting plastered. So
We had
the SEC was dry up until a couple of years ago.
well, yeah, I mean, they all were. The NCAA had a rule that you could not sell alcoholic beverages in the stadium for years.
Yeah.
Now, I want to say it's been 99. I was looking at college. I was visiting colleges and went to Tulane and went to New Orleans and visited Tulane. They were playing UAB in the Superdome. And in the Superdome, they actually were selling beer at the game. And we're like, you're not supposed to be doing that because it was against NCAA rules. But they were selling beer in the Superdome for a college game.
We have a big rivalry game in football, the real sport. And these are the two major clubs in Denmark back then. And I was with the away team. And because there might have been a few times where seats were burned and stuff were thrown around. So they thought, well, we'll just put the family section right next to the away fans and then the hardcore home team supporters some way up. When people started pelting families, I thought, well, it might be a good time to leave. So they tore off the seats and just threw them at the children because we were standing on a terrace and the family section was down below. And these fans, when they get enough in them, and most of it isn't even beer, it's something else. everything goes flying. And to this day, it's still a disgrace that you put kids next to away fans, because
Yeah.
we can get rowdy.
Yeah, it's the SEC or like college football
Yes.
or like SEC, I guess. I don't know about outside of SEC. It's a rite of passage taking stuff in.
Oh yeah, that's how it was at Oklahoma State. I mean,
But you know what
always brought stuff in.
I got distracted. You know what the what a beer costs now? Or now?
I'm
When
sure it's $10-15.
$14
Yeah,
for like
$14.
Bud Light.
It's like $9 beer night.
Dude,
$14 to drink something that makes you want to chop your stuff off.
Yeah, I can't stand beer anyway, so.
Oh, I like
yeah,
beer, but it's
Brandon,
got to
yes.
be my beer has to be at least at least 5%.
Shot club.
But is that just a normal pint-sized beer for $14?
It's usually pretty decent size, isn't it?
No, it's about a
yeah,
pint.
it's usually 24. Yeah, 16 to 24 ounces.
It's like a pint.
So,
but still, that's
it's expensive.
More expensive than in Denmark.
Well,
we
because
have
they've
high
got
prices.
a captive
That's
audience.
more expensive than any bar you can go to here.
Yeah, it's a captive audience.
Yeah, and how much do you pay to get into a stadium?
Depends. But yeah, for like let's say an SEC game, conference games, or I don't know, probably $70-$80 now. Last time I went to an Auburn game, it was like $30 for general admission conference game.
I have no idea.
Or non-conference, actually. It was a non-conference game, actually.
They used to give you tickets, and they would have on there like what each game costs, because like if it was like a nothing team, it was cheaper.
Yeah.
But now they don't even tell you per ticket. It's all you get like 6 tickets or whatever it is, and it costs you. The expensive part is not the ticket. It's the donation you have to give to the school.
Yes, for the season tickets, you have to give to the general scholarship funds. That's where they get you. That's what my parents did, season tickets at Auburn for years. Mm-hmm. And the Greater Auburn Fund requirement kept going up. And they're like, they ended in the early 90s. It was probably, I want to say 91 or 92 was probably the last time they did it. And I got to see the first Auburn-Alabama game in Auburn, because they used to always play at Legion Field in Birmingham for years.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to see that one. That was a fun game.
Oh, it's not a neutral site?
No, it hasn't been neutral site for years. I think late 90s they started alternate. They got away from Legion Field, because Legion Field, it was built in like 1926 or some stupid year.
I love that.
So it's like falling apart. They've taken the upper deck down because it wasn't structurally sound. They still play games there, but the Auburn-Alabama game, they stopped playing there, I want to say mid-90s, and they went alternating. At first they would go to Auburn once every like 4 years. They play Legion Field 3 years and then go to Auburn 1 year. And then they started in Auburn and Tuscaloosa, alternating late 90s. So.
Man, it seems like they're missing out there.
Yeah,
But again,
they go you $50 a strap.
And I just
instead of shots, it's straps.
How many is the stadium filled with those prices?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is 100,000 people.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
$70-$80 plus, and that's for general admission, which is the nosebleeds are usually $70-$80 easy.
So that's 7 million income per game, plus what you make.
That's not the season tickets and the good seats are even. They're they can be up a couple $100 a piece. Some of the ones,
but a bare minimum is 7 million made per game.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, at least
gross ticket sales. Yeah. Some of these schools, and I know one point, like Alabama's athletic budget was tens of millions of dollars, and their football program was bringing in $50 million a year profit.
And like Tennessee's for a while, they were spending more on their athletics than Auburn was, or not Auburn, but Alabama.
Yeah,
for a while.
Well,
I
you
don't
had
know
a
what it
bigger
is
you had a
now.
bigger stadium. You guys
Yeah, for a
seated
while
like
we had the
103 or
100
4,000, and it wasn't until the last
109, I
maybe
think, was the max.
until the last
Wesley.
10 years maybe that Alabama expanded theirs.
Well, and Wesley Hope says it right, 92,000 people, even when UGA plays at FCS school.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think the biggest real football stadiums are
$30. Is
like
that like
90,000.
nosebleeds, Brandon? Is that general admission? It's because they're playing Duke. If there it was
Yeah.
Ohio State last week, I'm sure that was, far more expensive.
See, Neyland's like right at 100,000. It's 101,000, something like that now. They have, but they shrunk this size to put in more of the expensive seats.
Yeah.
And those seats aren't selling right now. We
Well,
can
no.
look at them. We're down on
See, and
like
that was one thing that I went to when we went to Stillwater to watch a game. They had only seats like 55, 60,000, but they have tons of suites, and they have a lot of suites. They're nice too, and I know the guy in the athletics department that sells those suites, but yeah, they have a lot of suites. It's a beautiful stadium, but it's a horseshoe shape. It's not enclosed in a bowl like Neyland or Jordan Hare is. So it's only like seats on three sides.
like Neyland originally was like that, so you could always see the hill where the Ayers Hall and all that stuff was. But yeah, I just found out like a year or two ago. Like they've expanded that stadium. It's 100 years old, and they're still growing it based off of General Neyland's. Like he designed the whole thing. Like he architecture type did the whole deal.
Yep.
I was like, that's so amazing to me. But anyway,
I'm just looking, and the biggest football stadium, real football, is Barcelona, and they have 99,354 seats.
Yeah.
And
you gotta speak Spanish.
No, you just have to yell at the other team.
Yeah, and you have to learn the song. You have to chant songs to the other team. Yeah.
That's the funny part, because me and some of my friends, we sometimes been to England or somewhere just to watch some games, and we go in the lower leagues because it's cheaper, and we'll probably be so drunk we can't remember the game. It takes you 5 seconds to get into the chants because it's mostly the cadence, and then the beer gets flowing. But if you really want to see some good football and want the true experience, if you're in England, go to a League One or League Two game.
Oh yeah,
those guys are crazy.
Yep. Yeah. How much are tickets there for like the?
That's. I could probably Google what the average are. But Americans, you all fans of what is the Wales club that Jim guy bought? Ryan Reynolds guy bought his club, Wrexham.
So OU Iowa State 64 to 168, depending on the seat. That's not bad.
Everything I know about soccer comes from Ted Lasso.
I love that shit. I loved it for the first season and a half, probably. And then they started getting into too much character development and too much side story crap.
But yeah, I think it was just good.
Well, El Clasico is different. I mean, that's what Barcelona and Real Madrid. I mean, those are two of the best teams in the world.
Yeah, everyone wants to be there for those ones.
Yeah,
but again, it's some of the best games are not the big ones because there's so many people there, and it's euphoric to be there. But go to Germany and watch FC Köln. They have this crazy left-wing Antifa fan movement. They go absolutely apeshit. It's like watching a game in the former East Bloc. I was watching a EuroLeague game when I was deployed because a Danish team was playing a Croatian team, and we were even though we were soldiers, we were followed in by armed guards to keep the other ones away from us, and we were allowed to carry our sidearms. But they didn't care.
Yeah,
they just wanted at us. It was such an amazing game.
Wait, you had your
and that was
sidearms?
in a small dirt-filled stadium. It barely made regulation. It was a great game.
6 to 10,000. Geez, is that won or is that like real dollars?
No, that's dollars. Yeah.
Jeez.
Like if you
BS.
transferred it over to dollars, that's about what it
Good
would be. I
Lord.
mean, it like Phillips Arena, whenever it's got
Yeah.
acts like Taylor Swift or something like that comes through, it's gonna be in the thousands.
Jeez. Yeah,
And
Suarez. That was the last. Yeah.
That's just for like not even being near the stage where
Mm.
it's expensive.
That's Brandon. That's been a few years since those three were the front line. That's probably been what 8 years at least, 10 years.
One ticket, US dollars. Crazy.
OU Texas. Yeah, State Fair. Well, that includes State Fair admission though, doesn't it? Which is probably expensive.
The Texas State Fair with Big Tex?
The Texas State Fair, the OU Texas has played at the Cotton Bowl with.
I
guess it's still
love
played there,
state
or have
fairs.
they moved it to Arlington yet?
I have a hard time going to state fairs anymore.
Yeah, I don't care for them anymore.
It's crowds.
Oh, that's with 2 tickets. Okay.
Yeah,
So 2
yeah, and
tickets.
it was Suarez who liked to
He liked to
to
bite
bite
guys.
people.
Yeah.
It was
He had
fun
the
when they
teeth for it.
it-
He had
yeah,
the like
but-
parrotfish mouth, so he could do it.
yeah, and when he went to England and they kept singing about him biting people, that's what's great about. I don't like American fan culture because the MLS fan culture, because they don't have the natural banter and stuff like in a European game. That's what makes even a boring game can be great if you have 2 good fan.
Yeah.
I'm not a hardcore anymore. I just go to sit down and watch a game.
Yeah,
But
it
hearing
was,
them sing,
yeah. The chanting in the crowds, I don't ever know what they're saying, but that's great. Yeah, Ronaldo was on Madrid. It was Real Madrid. It was Ronaldinho, I think, was
On
with
Barcelona.
he was in Barca.
Barcelona with Messi and Suarez.
Was he still with Messi? Because
Yeah, they were the
was-
front three. I think it was those three were and that's been about 10 years. And I remember.
Yeah, it's the first couple of years Messi was at Barcelona, and then he jumped to Paris Saint-Germain, I believe.
Yeah. But yeah, I actually would watch that late at night because that Barcelona team they actually would score, and so it was I could actually watch it.
The one they had in the late 90s with Laudrup, the Danish player, and Stoichkov and those, that was amazing team. Figo was back in the really good days. So it's a fun sport but I know many Americans doesn't understand why you want to sit for 90 minutes and see somebody play 0-0, but it's because we're taught to watch all the other things.
Yes.
And just like with the ladies, it's not just to get into the end zone. It's how you build up the play before you hit the end zone.
Exactly.
Yes, I don't care about that.
No, you just want to
it's a race.
get to the
it's a race
touchdown.
to the finish line.
Yeah.
Well,
and if the other team can't score,
that's
not your problem.
You have to help carry the other one across the finish line sometimes, but you know.
And by that underlying sexual innuendo, I'm gonna jump off. I'm gonna have some more sleep because it's 6:30, and
yes.
And
I have a date with Mr. Shizzy later today.
I'll be seeing you, brother.
And an unknown length of stream for Verdict Watch. So
yeah, it'll be.
Hopefully, it'll be a short one.
I hope so.
I'm a little.
Hopefully they've got a Becky.
I'm hoping before lunch.
Well, it should be a not guilty, but you know.
Yeah, we've said that before, and then we saw.
You said straps, Brendan.
Well, but it's so much per strap.
Yeah, well, they got
there's no straps,
hey,
and it's
hey,
going to fall
this
down.
thing stays up. Ha 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 ha.
So you just ruined it.
Oh damn it!
Well,
I think
Brandon,
that-
I do a little strap action for you for free.
Well, I've even said
See
to
you all
Brandon, he
later.
doesn't have
Have
to give me
fun.
money. I
You
don't
know what
care.
shirt
see
we
you.
gotta
I'll
get
see you,
thanks,
man.
thanks,
We
thanks
gotta
for
get
hanging.
you a Big Trouble in Little China tank top.
Yeah.
That's you, man.
One of the best movies ever made.
Yes.
Oh
is.
man, I knew you'd love that. I
Oh,
knew it,
there's-
man. I just thought about it and I was like, dude, that's a oh man. Yeah.
That's going to be our next. Has to be the next one.
Yes.
It's
yes.
such an amazing movie. And that's what I loved about the 80s. You did all the coke, then you wrote a script. Now they just
Yeah.
do
Make
strikes
good
and
movies. Yeah, it's just
And
and
do all the coke.
You know, I just saw Big Trouble in Little China like 2 years ago for the first time.
Really? Oh man.
well, brother. Did you ever see Barbarians?
No,
We
I haven't
talked
seen it
about the
yet.
Barbarians.
Oh.
Where are they on?
That's
What's it on?
I think it's on Prime America. The
look it
Barbarian Brothers or the Barbarians. It's one of the best movies ever made because it's so bad. It's not even a B movie. It's like K
Worse.
tier or something. These
I've
two
got Barbarians
giant
20.
meatheads fighting a dull dragon that's so badly made you cannot do anything but cheer. One of them is being strung up by his neck, and just by doing his moose call, he breaks the rope. You could do that in the 80s. You can't do that today.
What was the Veloso Preacher? Is that what it was?
Velociraptor.
The Preacher one? You saw that?
Preacher?
yes,
The Veloso Preacher?
like Velocipaster or something like that.
Yeah,
Velociraptor.
Velocipaster. Yes, that's
Something like that.
It doesn't even. They didn't even have the budget to make it a B movie.
That's
See,
that's
I'm-
just so wrong.
I'm still wanting to see Cocaine Bear.
Yeah,
You haven't seen
Yeah.
I've
Cocaine
heard
Bear?
that one is
Cocaine
pretty awesome.
Bear.
Um,
Do you
I
know it's
need
a
to
true
see
story?
that. That's
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
that's
actually. I remember.
it's
Yeah,
a true story.
yeah.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, like, I
Did you
would
see
do
the
a,
cocaine sharks?
No, but that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
in the
there's
Caribbean. It's gotta be in
some
the
guy.
Caribbean.
I believe it was Aussie
Sorry.
who had an article about because you Americans is way too strict with your import rules. So they dump it
Yeah.
whenever the Coast Guard get near, and then the sharks, yep, and they're gonna do a study to see if they get affected by it. So I want to see a shark high as a kite.
Dude, that'd be awesome,
That's
man.
gonna be
That'd be so
awesome.
awesome. Yeah, I need to do a video on Cocaine Bear because like that's around UT. That's around
What's on Prime?
Okay.
I'll
So
What's on
check
I
Prime?
Saturday.
think
Oh, wait, where
Is
is
it on Prime?
What's
Okay,
what's on
I'm
Prime? What is on
watching it then.
Prime?
I will be
Cocaine
watching
Bear
it. Then.
is.
I
Cocaine
need to
Bear
make
is
a
on
quick
Prime?
announcement.
Yeah, I'm watching it.
Yes.
Yeah,
I need to make a quick
that's-
announcement. Just one.
Next
Yes.
I think Brandon just paid for one strap.
Awesome.
The reason I know that is because Australian dollars are about 65 US cents. And if 50 US dollars, or you want me to say shush?
Yeah.
Brandon.
Don't say
He-
you do. The first rule is you don't say his name. You
I
just
know
say
that.
Brandon. Yeah.
I say
Okay.
I know, I'm only saying Brandon.
Yes.
But his name
I
is
know that.
Brandon. I say
I
it
know
all the
that.
time.
I don't dox
Yeah.
anybody. That's,
Brandon.
yeah, I said that.
Brandon, let's go.
That's the first rule of
I know.
Shot Club.
Uh,
Do you
Or
wanna
for
take
you,
it off
Strap
or
Club.
not?
For you,
Strap
Strap
Club.
I
Club.
don't
know.
want to be here for
I,
this.
I'm not, I don't let my newness show. Anyway,
Huh?
this one strap,
There you go,
is that what I'm
Baker.
supposed to do?
Baker's already beat you to it.
Who did it, Baker? Did
Baker,
you?
yeah.
Baker gets it. He wins. There you go.
Okay, so don't I just have to do this? Like that?
And then do the to show you've been hitting the gym.
See, what's this? Look, see, I can just go
Okay.
like that.
Well, now you got her halfway there, Brandon. Got to keep going. Everyone else,
Yep.
you have to keep out the stream. Have so much fun, and Shizzy, when you get back, I see you later.
I'll
Have fun.
see you, brother.
Stop doxing people, Lefty.
Baker.
Yeah.
Lefty,
name's
I don't
Brandon.
ever call you Lefty.
Yeah. See you, Baker. Thanks.
Check it out. Oh, bye. Oops. I said goodbye to him before. See?
Awesome. There you go. So it's straps for you and shots for us. So
See,
I'm
you know what?
current on
I don't
mine.
even have to get drunk.
Yeah. Well, I'm not.
But I did.
Yeah.
I did promise you earlier, Brandon, that I could have just waited till Friday because on Nick's stream because I'm actually going to be. It's going to be my nighttime for the first time
Yes,
ever that I'm
yes.
streaming. Really, like it'll be starts at 11 p.m. my time. So Nick sent me an invite, and I said, "Oh my God, I'm actually going to be able to have a drink because usually it's day. Like you guys are drinking and stuff, and it's my day.
Yeah.
So, but I don't drink very much. Not much at all. Yeah. But it will be good. I'm looking forward to it.
Enough energy for what?
Enough energy for what?
Put to MG. I love it. Next strap.
Uh-oh.
Whatever.
Oh, okay. So the barbarians are on Prime. Okay.
Yes.
The barbarians is. Uh-oh. Is it
Brandon,
there?
I'm pretty confident in this top. So
Oh boy.
I'm pretty confident. It's all good. I don't think anything's going to go wrong, to be honest. All good.
Oh, I hope not.
Nah.
My channel will get taken down really quick. If that
No,
happens.
you don't need to worry about your channel. It's fine.
If it does,
you'll just remove
the sticker really quick.
Remove it really quick.
Nah, all good. All good, all good. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing.
I've heard that
This is quite strong, Lycra. It ain't going past you. It's fine.
I'm shy.
And I think even if it did, you'd all be disappointed.
Well, let's get moving. We're only 30
Let's
minutes
watch
into this.
some testimony, shall we?
30
Here we are
minutes
today.
in.
I anticipated this day like some miraculous thing would happen and my mother, Christine Lohman, would come back. I wrote letter after letter thinking if I said the right words today, I would feel justice was served, that you would take responsibility for what you did to my mother, that you would somehow feel my pain. Nothing I wrote or anything I said changes anything.
No.
685 days since I first heard your name and knew your face, a face my mother described as a leprechaun off a Lucky Charms box, but dirty. My mother survived your heinous attack and made sure you were finally off the streets after St. Charles County made a huge mistake by accidentally releasing you. 685 days, we have heard all about your injustices, like you are the victim of this crime. You had no idea of the layer upon layer of injustices.
Okay, all right.
On my own
Ready.
husband could not even honor her dying wishes.
I'm ready to.
No one will take responsibility for their part in all the injustices that were handed to my mother and her family.
That's fine. That's fine.
I never thought I'd be on a
embiggen her?
stream talking about the sentencing of a sexual assault.
Yeah.
A woman was taking her top off.
Not even taking it off. It's just I make it into a boob tube. Thank you for your kind donation, Brandon. You are helping out the StreamYard fund and also my what do you call it? My trivia night fund, because I've had to spend a bunch of money on all that stuff because everything costs so much more here. I have to pay US dollars for everything. So thank you very much. And I did say earlier, I expect nothing at all from anybody at all. And I think you're a lovely person, Brandon. You're very much a big supporter of the community.
Cocaine Bear.
Also,
oh my God.
Also Zach, if you're giving a lot to Zach.
Yes.
And that reminds me, anyone who doesn't know, and I was speaking earlier about Nick's stream on Friday, Shutface for Charity is happening.
Yes.
Everyone be there. Thank you very much.
I'll be watching it.
You wrote a long Facebook post about your grandmother, recognizing her as the woman who raised your mother and taught her how to be a woman, a mother. Good job, Granny. Remember my mom saying to you, I'm old enough to be your grandmother. What would she think of you right now? Today means nothing. Nothing miraculous is going to happen. and I will feel no peace leaving the courtroom today. It's just the chapter is done. I have heard over and over from friends, now you can start to heal. You don't heal from something like this. The idea of it ever even happening haunts you deep in the night. My mother was robbed of her dignity from everyone, and to live her out her golden years with that dignity. I don't get to heal because there will always be a piece of me missing for the rest of my life. I can try to fill it with people and things, but I know I will always feel that void of my mother. I will forever hold space for her though, and nothing can fill that space. She was the first heartbeat I felt and the first love I knew.
Carly Highland.
She's got some nice tattoos.
Yes. I'm Carly Highland. It's Hiland. I've written and rewritten my statement several times, and I've decided that nothing I say or do will bring my grandma, Tina Lohman, back to us. And even if it did, it wouldn't erase what happened. She is who I care about today, not you. Not Bradley Yohn, not what happens to him. He has proven over and over that he has no remorse for what he's done, and he has no mental capacity to do so.
Except for the
If
stream.
the day ever comes where he does, maybe I would have more to
It's
say.
their stream.
But as of today, everything we say today will fall on deaf ears. I'm not going to give you the satisfaction of hearing the pain that you've caused my family and I. I've sat here for almost 2 years.
Will be family and me.
Anywhere from once a month to once a week in this courtroom, watching you clown this courtroom, watch you clown the state's attorneys, my family, and my grandma, spreading your lies and conspiracy theories and trying to get a rise out of anyone you can. You're
She's
nothing but
pretty
a coward. You're a small, weak man. It's really laughable because you think you're the smartest man in the room. You've proven time and time
That's
again
exactly what
that
you
you're
said,
quite the
Shizzy.
opposite. You're so weak and little that you had to attack a 77-year-old woman.
No, I wouldn't.
To feel like you're something, and that's embarrassing for you.
Watch.
I'm embarrassed for you, your family, and anyone who's ever known you. And you're nothing. Here you are, the end of your game, no cards left to play, finally. I was with my grandma the night she passed. She was surrounded by us, her family, who she loved more than her own self. I promised her that we would all be okay and that we would get through this together, and we will. As for her death and the circumstances surrounding it, we are also not done. We will find all the players involved in this sick game, and we will seek the truth, even if justice is unobtainable. But as for you, Bradley Yohn, your part in this game has finally ended, and I wish you nothing but the worst.
Nothing but the worst.
What do you think she
Watch
means?
this. Watch this look.
Look at him. Yes.
And at some point, he's going to speak out.
Yeah, I know Lefty, there was the woman as well.
When I think about the impact your crime had on my grandma, I think it's pretty obvious. If you never would have crossed paths, I would still have her here. I would still be able to hear a contagious laugh, feel the way she would squeeze me so tightly, kiss me on the cheek, no matter how old I got. I'd be able to smell her perfume and see her huge smile, and see her huge smile that she'd have every time I got to see her. If I had her here with me, I'd be showered with gifts on every occasion. I'd meet her at her favorite restaurant to catch up. I'd pop in her office just to say hi. I'd call her on every holiday to tell her I love her. The fact is, I don't have her anymore because of you. She'll never be able to see my kids grow up, to hear the way they talk, or to give them any more gifts, or sneak in one last hug. The few years that they got to spend with her and the impact that she had on them will hold a special place in their hearts. My grandma was a woman that couldn't be forgotten. Her love, her style, her faith, and her demeanor made her unforgettable. Every one of my family members that got the privilege of growing up with her could tell you countless stories of how she impacted our lives. She will be remembered here on earth long past her death, and when we see her again in heaven, we will all cry tears of joy instead of the tears that we've cried since she's passed. The same cannot be said of you. There will be no one sharing pleasant memories of you or how you impacted their lives. You might think this crime in this case is
Keep
in
the
some
camera
way
up.
going to cause your name to be remembered in the years to come. It won't. You'll be forgotten as soon as we close this chapter. Even though what you did to my grandma was unspeakable, I don't hold any unforgiveness in my heart toward you. In fact, I feel sorry for you that at the end of your road, whenever that may be, that you won't have the full and lasting impact that she had.
These people who are like, I
Joshua
forgive
Loman.
you. Who are they?
There he is.
That's
staring him down again.
Yep.
Every single one of them. This guy right here probably hit me the hardest. So I might disappear for a little bit.
No.
My name is Joshua Loman, Lohan. I'm Tina Loman's oldest grandchild. She helped me raise me. She was like my second mom. We had a very close bond. She always told me how much she loved me. And it made me feel so special. She adored my 4 children. She made sure they were spoiled on every birthday and Christmas. She loved Christmas and she loved giving gifts.
Yeah.
That was the time that our whole family came together. I could not be here for the hearings, nor the trial, but I kept in the media and watched the trial online. My grandma and I talked after your horrible attack that you did, but she had told me everything. I think she was trying to protect me from being too upset. However, as I watched the trial and learned the gruesome details, I became physically sick.
Oh.
How could you have done that to my grandma? Kidnapping, carjacking, robbing? Wasn't enough for you? You had sexually assaulted her and hurt her like you did. I'm angry and I'm sad. What I think about it scares me. Scared she what she had to go through. You had no right to do that to my grandma, nor to anybody. It scares me what to think that there are people like you in this world. You need to go to prison for a very long time, not just for the justice for my grandma, but so you can't hurt anybody else. I was the person that used to stop and help people if they need help on the side of the road. Now I'm just too scared. I don't know what's going to happen. I had to think twice. I'll believe the actions that you led to my grandma's death. I drove 4 hours the night she died, and I was an hour late. I didn't get to see her die. I still showed up for my family that night. We went to the Tower Pizza. My grandma meant the world to me and to my kids. And she was taken from us too soon. There's a huge hole in my heart and it cannot be filled. Not to mention, I hate seeing my mom, my aunt, my uncles, and my cousins struggling to carry on without her. My grandma was a beautiful, classy woman. You tried, but you failed to take away her pride and dignity. Nothing done here today could bring my grandma back, but I truly hope there will be justice for her. I'll be praying for you.
Finally, Your Honor, there is a victim impact statement from Mary Beth Loman that they've asked to be read into the record.
Mary Beth Loman, M-A-R-I-B-E-T-H.
Reading a statement
Loman,
in.
L-O-H-M-A-N. My mother-in-law was a tough woman. She was responsible, smart, driven, vivacious, outgoing, and beautiful. She could make the best of any worst. Before the evening of November 9th, 2021, her worst meant beginning her family, struggling to make ends meet, being used, dismissed, lied to, cheated on, and taken for granted. The evening of November 9th, 2021, my mother-in-law made the smart and responsible decision to pull over and to figure out why her headlights weren't on. What kind of person takes a situation like that and spins it into the nightmare scenario detailed in this court? Bradley Yohn noticed, and in that moment decided without hesitation how he was going to respond. He could have chosen to stay in the background that night, remembering that he had just been released, mistakenly, from jail in Missouri. He could have been trying to lay low, avoid trouble. It's terrifying to think that any one individual, let alone two, could be so cruel and heinously sadistic.
Yeah.
Seriously, that's not how it's pronounced. Look it up. He chose this. He terrorized, degraded, humiliated, and hurt a woman old enough to be his own grandmother. He chose to do this not just once that night, but repeatedly. He pursued her even when it meant he had to kick in a locked garage door to
Yeah.
get her back under control, despite the uncertainty of what
I'd end up
or
in jail.
who could be waiting on the other side of that door. He enjoyed terrorizing, degrading, and hurting her with physical, emotional, and sexual assaults while taking anything he could from her, everything she had with her, on her, and everything she could think of to bargain with, all for a chance to survive the circumstance he put her in. I can't imagine what it took for Mom to overcome the shock and horror of this assailant's intent, the depth of his depravity. I can't imagine what it took to focus and think, to strategize through the fear and pain of the ordeal he subjected her to. She knew she had nothing to lose by offering more than they had already taken from her. She hoped there would be another person at her house. She knew there was a gun, and she knew where it was, she thought. She knew how to use it.
I don't think
she
so.
took a chance. She
Well,
ran.
I don't think there was any
She put a locked
evidence
door between
or
them and
testimony
herself.
about it.
They could have run, taken off in her car with her purse, phone, jewelry, but he decided he would not let this end with her escape. Any explanation for that pursuit paints a terrifying picture of his intent toward her. She stayed focused, assessed her assailant's nature, objectives, and intelligence, reassessed her options, knowing husband and gun were not there. That doesn't leave room for much in the way of hope. Instead, she found opportunity by playing on Yohn's apparent frustration, anger, urgency, fear of arrest, and his general lack of knowledge. She tricked him, told Yohn their basement safe hidden behind a discarded door in a house on a river bottom road was connected to the QPD, and that by spinning the dial, he surely triggered an alarm and the police would be on their way. Really? It's just not logical. In short, Mama told a tall tale and it paid off. She outsmarted him and his accomplice again. Mom paid a heavy price that night, but it wasn't with her life. No doubt Mom saved other potential victims, people who could have crossed paths and been subject to the same kind of heinous, incomprehensible experience. It just can't be comprehended. She stayed with the police to provide information they would need to identify, track, and capture her attackers. She stayed to tell investigators where they could potentially find evidence they would need to detain those attackers once captured. She allowed a physical examination to collect any evidence remaining with her to corroborate her account, documenting the marks Bradley had left on her body. All that information and evidence screamed just how urgent it was to capture, and this time, keep Bradley S. Yohn, the one who attacked her, in jail. She survived long enough to know the people responsible for hurting her were caught, to see their mugshots, and know that they would never again draw a truly free breath. Mom became frantically occupied with anything that anchored her in the comfort, familiarity, and safety of her family and life before the 9th of November, 2021. Those efforts could only sustain her until the middle of December that same year. It's one thing to survive such a nightmare, but quite another to process the trauma that follows. We wish she were still with us, but there's some comfort in knowing that she doesn't have to live in fear of quiet times when this trauma of this experience could creep in and haunt her memory. She doesn't have to walk into a house infused with the trauma of a man who would abuse, use, humiliate, callously objectify her, take anything she had to offer, all for his own deviant gratification, while entertaining a girlfriend, accomplice, with the humiliations and pain they were jointly inflicting. We miss Mom. Life without her is so much less. It's less colorful, bright, full, warm.
You can do that.
Forgiving, supportive, and hopeful. It's definitely less stylish, less put together.
Brendan's in charge.
Silence fills the room she brought to life.
He is.
She was the embodiment of holiday. She was live out loud, created excitement and anticipation. She created opportunity through ingenuity and sheer will. She was a force of life, wicked smart, sometimes,
Wicked smart.
lots of times, smart-assed and funny. A little green-eyed, beautiful blonde, fashionably wrapped and seemingly unstoppable. Mom was all about family. She was an active figure in our lives, and she was determined to continue on that track. She would make provisions for us even as she got older and experienced health issues herself. She would do everything possible to provide for us or offer guidance, like it or not. She couldn't fathom the notion of tough love, and she wouldn't tolerate anyone taking advantage of her family. Mom was our family's structure and support. She could carry whatever burden circumstance placed on her, and then she'd carry ours too. Even before her attack, she inspired a legacy of commitment to family, bravery, focus, intelligence, perseverance, and resilience. We hope to carry on with that inspiration as we preserve her memory for the generations.
Bring
As
it
for
on,
Mom's
Brandon.
attacker, Bradley Yohn, I hope this court sees fit to afford him sentences that reflect every intentional offense, hurt, and humiliation he enjoyed at Mom's expense. She unquestionably lived that night and every day of the rest of her life, trying to avoid the fear, disgust, and pain he caused in her. In recognition of that, I hope the court and the prison he is housed in will keep him where he can't hurt anyone else. And I hope he stays there every day without question for the rest of his life. Thank you.
That would conclude the victim impact statements, Your Honor.
Yes. That was all of them.
Any further evidence for the people?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Nelson, does the defense have any evidence they wish to present?
No evidence, thank you.
Oh, it gets better.
Mr. Young, you have the right to make a statement directly to the court telling me anything that you think I should know before I sentence you. Your statement in allocution is voluntary. You do not have to make a statement. But
Oh,
if
you don't
would like
have
make
to.
a statement,
I would
now would
suggest
be the
not
time
to.
How about not?
He will.
Yeah.
People in the stands. I did
In the
not hurt
stands, this
my
isn't it?
grandmother. I did not do any of that. I wasn't part of that this night. I was not there. There's a lot more to this than y'all know. Your Honor, I'm not guilty for this at all.
I don't have any more straps, dude. What do you want?
No, but
Mr. Young,
I've got liquor.
as to arguments and
What do you
recommendations for
want?
sentence, Mr.
He wants it
Jones?
off.
Thank you, Your Honor. May it please court counsel. Judge, I will start
get
with
yeeted.
This before we
Yes.
get into the
Can't take it off.
counsel arguments. I think
What
it
do
would
you
be
want?
helpful to go over what the defendant could be facing.
Legit.
With regard to count one.
Yeah, we'll get yeeted. She's already said there's
He's looking
nothing
at
under
6
there.
to 30 years.
I ain't got anything
With
under
regard to
this.
Count 3, aggravated kidnapping.
Yeah.
He is looking at 6 to 30 years. in
So
federal
drinks it
corrections.
is.
And again, that is.
Now you got a drink.
Discretionary
Instead.
consecutive with.
I don't even have any alcohol.
So did you hear what he said?
4, aggravated
Yeah.
vehicular hijacking. He is looking at 6 to 30 years. And
That's
again,
a lot
that
of
is
time.
discretionary consecutive with counts 1.
I told
And
you there's no
3.
bra.
Count 5 is aggravated criminal sexual assault. He's looking at a minimum of 16 and a maximum of 40 years with
Yes,
that. That is
it's an
mandatory
issue.
consecutive with the other counts. Count 6, the residential burglary, that would merge into count 1. So we will not be asking for the court to impose a sentence on count 6. So by my math, Your Honor, he is looking at a maximum of 130 years. If the court were to choose to impose the maximum sentence on every case and have them run consecutive
Well,
with
I'm
each
gonna
other.
have to drink a shot for you on
So
Friday.
what
I have
should
to owe
the
you.
court impose? Your Honor, when this case started on November 9th,
You're very kind, though.
2021, nearly 2 years ago, I wasn't sure what I would ask
I'm gonna
for.
have to get some alcohol. I didn't even have any alcohol.
When I was discussing the case with Ms. Keck, we had lots of different ideas how we would approach
Kizzy
the
does.
sentencing hearing today. I thought about just going through the factors in aggravation and mitigation.
As do I.
listing them, and I know the court will do that. The court looks at the factors in aggravation. Several of them apply. The defendant's conduct caused and threatened serious harm. It absolutely did. The defendant received compensation for committing the crime. He
She's all like,
absolutely
yeah.
did. He has a prior history of delinquency and
Yeah.
criminal activity. It's listed in the
He
PSI.
has mine already too. I've got
The defendant
And I all along was like, you don't have to give me any
aggravated
money.
theft,
It's
that's a
fine.
factor in aggravation. The court should consider that she was over 60 years of age. All those are factors in aggravation. And looking at the factors in mitigation, frankly, none of those apply. So I thought about just making that argument, but Your Honor, that argument seems more like a math problem. And this case is not just a consideration of the statutory factors that the court requires us to consider. Thought about talking about the frustration of the family because they have been incredibly frustrated for the last 2 years. And I recognize that frustration. There were so many meetings where they wanted to know more and we couldn't tell them. And there was a reason why, but that reason isn't easily understood by a person who's going through trauma and loss. They were faced with delays and motions and delays and motions and delays and motions again and again and again. And every time we would have a meeting with them, they would tell us how frustrated they were. And every time we would say, there will be a day when you get your chance to talk to the defendant, but it's not today. And it took 2 years, but we got to that point. And I do apologize for the frustrations that you guys have had to deal with over and over again. It's not fair. But ultimately, the system of justice should be concerned with the victim's rights, but it's not. It's concerned with the rights of the defendant until we get to the point of sentencing. And that's where we are now. And I can't imagine what Tina's family had to go through, not just the delays and the motions and the delays and the motions, but then having to take the witness stand and answer questions from the person who violently sexually assaulted their mother. The bravery that they showed in taking the witness stand and answering his questions, despite the manner in which he did it, cannot be understated. I thought about just talking about that, but Your Honor, that's not about this case either. Really what this case is about and what the sentencing should be about is a 76-year-old grandmother who endured a nightmare that none of us should have to experience. What happened to her that night was something that doesn't happen in Adams County. It doesn't happen in the 8th Judicial Circuit. That's not who we are. That's not what Quincy is. That's not what Adams County is. We are a community where if you get stopped on the side of the road and you need help, somebody's going to show up to help. That's what we all expect. We don't expect to be carjacked, to be sexually assaulted, to have our house door kicked in, to be followed into the house, sprayed with carpet cleaner. That's a movie, Your Honor. That's something you watch on Halloween to scare you. That's not real life, but it was real life for Tina Lohman on November 9, 2021. The court saw the pictures of her injuries. The court saw the chemical burns to the inside of her mouth where that man sprayed her with carpet cleaner. The court saw the bruises on her knees, the bruises on her hands, the tears on her vagina. Calling it a nightmare isn't really enough. But that's what Tina Lohman lives with, and that's what she lives with every day for the rest of her life until she died. That memory. Ms. Keck and I prosecute some of the worst individuals in Adams County. The crimes we see are frightening. But every time we prosecute a case, it's remarkable to me that Ms. Keck tells me things like, look for the humanity in the defendants. And we try to recognize that everybody is a human being and has a certain amount of respect and dignity due to them.
Come on,
I will be
Mark.
honest,
Wake
Your
up.
Honor, this is the one case that I cannot say that. I cannot find the humanity
He
in
wants to come
this
over there and
and
just
what he did to Tina Loman
give him a
on
piece.
November 9th. I have never asked for a sentence of 130 years before. In 22 years of doing this, and the 12 years that Ms. Keck has done this, we've never asked for a sentence of 130 years before. But Your Honor, I would ask the court this. If any crime deserves 130 years, what crime could it be? And if any defendant deserves the maximum penalty that this court can impose, what defendant should it be? This is the crime that calls out for that penalty, and this is the defendant that calls out for that punishment. Your Honor, I'm asking the court to impose a 30-year sentence on each of the Class X felony offenses. I'm asking the court to find in its discretion that each of those sentences be consecutive to each other. I'm asking the court to impose a 40-year sentence on the aggravated criminal sexual assault. That sentence is mandatory to be consecutive with those other sentences. Nothing we do here today can bring back Tina Loman. Nothing we do here today can really even bring a sense of peace or justice to her family. But what we can do here today, Your Honor, is ensure that this defendant will spend the rest of his life in prison for every second of every day. 130 years is the most appropriate, most fair, and the most justice sentence that this court can impose. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Mr. Nelson, care to argue your recommendations as to sentence?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
No.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, nah, I got nothing
Your
to
Honor,
say.
one
Turn this
thing that I
notepad
often
over.
do, particularly in cases like this, is I try to imagine my client's baby photo or a preschool photo or some sort of a photo from my client's early years. Because certainly the life that my client has now is not the life that my client has always had. And
He chose to do this.
when I imagine or try to imagine that photo, it's often unavailable. When I imagine that photo, I wonder, what was life like for my client? Did my client in those
We need sales violin music.
safe?
Yeah.
Did you hear it this morning? Oh,
Yeah.
my morning. Did you hear it earlier?
My client's
Yeah.
life?
That's good.
What circumstances
Gonna
in my client's young years came to influence my client today?
I need more.
And the truth is that we actually have almost no information about Bradley's early years. The photos that so many of us have on Facebook that we've posted of our early years, or that family members have posted of us, they just don't exist for Bradley. And I know there's information in the PSI about the siblings that Mr. Yohn has. He has 8 biological siblings. He has 5 step siblings. None of those siblings sent in a letter describing anything about Mr. Yohn's early life or anything about Mr. Yohn.
No, maybe they're embarrassed by him. Maybe they're embarrassed.
So we know very little about those years. But we do have some information. And this is the information that we have. We do know
he's a sick
that Bradley's mother raised him. His father wasn't really around. And when he was 16 years old, his mother passed away.
I bet his mother would still be proud
That
of him.
particular event at that particular time in his life appears to have had a very profound effect on Bradley when you read the rest of the information in the PSI.
Nothing to do with.
And this is what I'm talking about, because
you
in
didn't
Bradley's
No one there
perhaps
cares.
very understated way, he said that after that event, quote,
beat him up.
everything went downhill. DCFS became involved in his life. He started banging his head
you
against
could have
walls.
stopped.
And I wonder if for Bradley at that time in his life,
He
that
made
event
choices.
shifted the earth for him. But the death of his mother was not
Question,
seen
Lefty. Why all of a sudden is the lawyer involved now?
He didn't.
across his life, because it was as a result of that.
That's his court-appointed
siblings
lawyer.
Ended up splitting up.
Yeah, I know, but he had one.
That was by order of the judge, if I'm not mistaken.
The judge said, "I've had enough."
Tried
finally.
to
Shelley, I
reach out
don't,
to his siblings.
I don't
He
know
tried
that
to
this guy's feeling
maintain
any
that
shame.
bond, those connections.
No, he
felt
feels no shame,
responsible for doing that.
no remorse.
And he was apparently able to
blames
maintain something of a close relationship
everybody
with
but
one
himself.
sister.
Of course he does.
One sister. But he now feels, in his words, abandoned by that sister due to certain events. And it's curious that he chose that word, abandoned. His use of that particular word may actually reveal more about his continued sense of loss than he intended. Did these traumatic experiences fatalistically determine the course of events for Bradley's life? And this case in particular, of course not. He didn't. But the science has demonstrated that there is a clear connection between traumatic experiences, and particularly traumatic experiences in
The
childhood,
science.
and later behavioral health and mental health. And that, Your Honor, I think is certainly relevant in this case, and I think that it is mitigating in this case.
Oh, okay.
There are very severe mandatory minimums that, as by law, the court must impose in this case, given the jury verdict and the court's ruling on our post-trial motion today. But I am asking that the court sentence Bradley not in excess of what is required by law. Thank you.
Yeah, but what is required by human decency? Please, how about human decency? Because he has none.
He knows full well he's going to get maximum.
Court has considered the precinct's investigation reports, the evidence presented at trial, and the statement by Mr. Yohn, the arguments of counsel, as well as the statements and victim impact statements given today by family members. All of the statutory and non-statutory factors in aggravation and mitigation, whether specifically mentioned or not, the history and character of the defendant, and having due regard for the seriousness of the offense and with the objective of restoring the defendant to useful citizenship, I find the following. As to factors in aggravation, certainly the conduct caused or threatened serious harm. The defendant did receive compensation in taking the items from the person, vehicle, and home of his victim. The defendant has an extensive history of prior delinquency and criminal activity, including not less than 12 misdemeanors, but more importantly, sentences to the various departments of corrections in Illinois and Missouri, including 3 years, 3 years, 3 years, 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, 3 years, and 7 years.
Jeez.
None of which curtailed Mr. Yohn from committing these offenses.
Yeah.
Court finds that a sentence is necessary to deter others from committing the same crimes. Specifically finds the victim to have been 65 or 60 years or older, being 76, 77 years of age. I also note that according to the PSI, Mr. Yohn was on a pretrial release for a felony in St. Charles County, Missouri, 2111-CR-03413, an unlawful possession of firearm by a dangerous felon, a Class C felony in Missouri. Also, Marion County, Missouri, 21MR-CR-00188 for a charged second-degree burglary, which would be a Class 4 felony in Missouri.
Lefty,
During the
it's
factors in
more
mitigation, I am in agreement
about
with the state's position. I find
the
none
family in this.
apply to Mr. Yohn. And again, the court is to consider the character of the
No
offender.
mitigations.
Mr. Yohn, in my practice of law and in all my years, you are the most reprehensible person I've had in court before me, as public defender, as state's attorney, and now as judge. You take no responsibility for crimes that you clearly committed and were proven beyond a reasonable doubt. I believe you're narcissistic and unable to appreciate that, because to admit that would be admitting a fault, and in your mind, you are perfect. Well, sir, you're going to be perfect for 130 years in prison. The state's recommendation. On count one, home invasion for using a dangerous weapon during such, the maximum 30 years is imposed. I'm also finding that that crime resulted in great bodily harm to the victim, meaning you'll serve it at 85%, not 50%. Good. Be followed by 18 months mandatory supervised release if you're ever released. Count three, aggravated kidnapping, Class X felony. I'm imposing the maximum 30 years. Department of Corrections. That likewise will be at 85% for the same reason as previously stated, inflicting severe bodily injury. That will be consecutive to the sentence in count one. Count four, aggravated vehicular hijacking. Class X felony, 6 to 30 years. I'm imposing a 30-year sentence maximum, followed by 18 months mandatory supervised release, specifically finding that that should be served at 85%, again, because your actions resulted in great bodily harm to the victim.
Christine Lohman even said she wasn't hijacked.
Sir, I
herself.
would not speak.
In the video.
So that will be consecutive to counts 1 and 3. Count 5, maximum on the Class X aggravated criminal sexual assault.
Oh, look at the
Range 6
chick
to
lawyer.
15 years. I'm imposing the 40-year sentence. That will be followed by mandatory supervised release of 3 years to life. And that by statute will be mandatorily consecutive to the sentences imposed in counts 1, 3, and 4.
Where is it? Yeah, he's trying to say that the victim said that she wasn't hijacked. And then none of that, that she even said that none of that stuff, that didn't happen. And so he can't take responsibility for anything.
No. These people think they're going to walk. They didn't do anything wrong.
Those should total the 130 years being imposed.
Good night, Lefty.
Night, Lefty.
Thanks for stopping by.
Statute, I must advise that at 85%, you'll be serving a total minimum of 110 years in the Illinois Department of Corrections. Anything else regarding sentencing, Mr. Jones, prior to advising of appeal rights?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Nelson?
No.
Mr. Yohn, you do have the right to appeal. If you only want to appeal the judgment of conviction, not including the correctness of the sentence imposed or any aspect of the sentencing hearing, then within 30 days of today's date, you must file with the Circuit Clerk of Adams County a written notice of appeal or request that the Circuit Clerk prepare and file it on your behalf. However, if any part of what you want to appeal relates to the correctness of your sentence or any aspect of the sentencing hearing, then before you file a notice of appeal, you must file first, within 30 days of today's date, a written motion to reconsider sentence and or challenging sentencing hearing. That likewise would be filed at the Adams County Circuit Clerk's office. Your motion must be in writing, must be filed with the Circuit Clerk of this court within 30 days of today, and must include all of the grounds or reasons for your motion, as any issue or claim there in the state.
You go do that, Lefty.
Be waived for purposes of your appeal. If your motion is granted, the sentence may be modified or some other action may be taken to correct whatever the problem may be. If your motion is denied, okay. You good? All right. If your motion is denied, 30 days from the date the motion was denied, to file with the Circuit Clerk of the court a written notice of appeal or to request that the Circuit Clerk prepare and file it on your behalf to start the process of going to the appellate.
Have a little fun down under.
You cannot afford the assistance of an attorney for your motion or your appeal. An attorney will be appointed to represent you free of charge. If you cannot afford copies of the transcripts in your case, for your motion or appeal, those likewise will be provided to you free of charge.
We can only hope,
Understand
Rabbit.
your right to appeal,
I
Mr.
hope
Young?
he's having fun
Yes, sir.
every day and every night.
It will be.
He gets what.
Your Honor, I have some things to take up with regards to the transcripts. I'm still waiting on pretrial transcripts that you said would come along.
Dude.
Mr. Young, you're represented by counsel. So he'll need to make all motions and arguments to the court if he chooses to do so.
Yes, you're represented by counsel,
As far
so
as
shut
appeal,
the
I'll represent
fuck up.
myself on appeal at this time, so I'm going to need the transcripts.
You don't get
Unless
to
they're being
make argument.
manipulated like last
And
week,
his
or
attorney's
anytime
just
to do
like,
that.
God, shut the hell up.
Mr. Young, again, you're being represented by counsel at this time, and so he'll have to make all motions and arguments for you.
That's what he's for.
He's like, come on, man. He's like,
shut.
He's like, turning down
the
the He's like, no, I'm not. He's like, I don't hear you. I'm ignoring you. I'm not
Mr.
going
Jones, do we want to take up the 22 CF 713 and 720?
Judge, based on the court's sentence today, I'll have an order prepared showing those cases are dismissed.
Yeah, his attorney's just reading like, I don't hear you. I'm
sorry,
ignoring
we're gonna
you.
have to go back on the record also. Thank you for reminding me of that. Mr. Young, because
He's ignoring him, isn't he?
671,
he's just not.
You were sentenced to 7 years while
Wow.
you were awaiting trial in this matter. These sentences are also going to be consecutive to that sentence. So that'll be a total of 137 you'll be serving.
Just chuck another 7 on.
Just
Why not?
keep talking, you little shit.
Yeah.
Just keep talking.
671, the one where y'all violated my rights.
Oh, good Lord.
Wow.
I don't need him back for any order of habeas corpus. So all right. So you got the orders drafted?
Yes, the orders are
Hey,
drafted.
Cutie Queen.
Providing those to Mr. Nelson.
What's up, Lint Liquor?
Everybody's over it.
Yeah.
With this,
I love it.
with this shit.
He's like, would you just shut the hell up, dude?
Yeah, if you don't shut up, I'm gonna put this pen through your fucking skull myself. Sorry for the language.
We're more than 2 hours in. We're good.
Get stabby with ya.
Yeah, he's got to serve 85%
Brandon
of
paid for.
of 130. So he's got to serve at least 110 and a half years. That's if all of them were 85% crimes. I don't know. Some of them may not have been.
And that's if you survive Bubba, whose grandmother
No,
just
I hope.
waiting for him to get out on that
Bubba and Tyrone
prison-
have their
on
have
that
fun
bank
with it.
robbing charge. That's grandma shows up every weekend with
Motion
cookies
21
saying,
CF
"Oh,
713,
grandson."
21 CF 723.
Cross
Oh, he's got
Yeah,
another
stuff.
prior.
This guy did.
Yeah, prior 7. So yeah, he's still got 100. Yeah,
Anything else,
he's still
Mr.
got 7.
Jones?
He essayed an old lady,
Mr. Nelson?
and really badly so. To a point where she didn't even make it through the next 3 weeks of her life.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, Pookie and Ray
How's
Ray
this?
need to get him.
Enjoy prison. Okay, bye. See ya.
Awesome.
What did he say?
Oh, it switched over to Joe. What's
Hey,
up, dude?
Joe. What's up, Joe? Yeah.
Did he say something?
It like
Did I just talk
automatically
over that? Did
switched
he say
over to
something?
him.
Yeah.
Let's see. I want
Yes.
to go to. Well, that was
It
fun.
was more than just the robbery. It was the way that he essayed her was reprehensible. And it wasn't just once, twice. It was
No.
multiple times.
And also the stuff that he put down her throat.
Yeah,
that was pretty
yeah.
bad.
And that was before he even got back to the house. The violence that she incurred from him.
Yeah, because that was. I'm not sure what he said. Something about Karen Blackledge at the end.
Yeah,
And
she was involved in it
But-
also. She turned on him in a heartbeat
Yeah.
because
Not surprised. She got 40 years.
the family is not happy with the state that actually screwed up and let him out. Had he not gotten out that night, because they made a mistake, and instead of
Sorry,
him having
sorry,
this
go back.
mistake being brought out,
He was let out.
yeah, he was let out.
was let out on a crime in Missouri, not I guess across the border
Oh,
from where
okay.
this happened, and he was
And while he was out,
mistakenly let out.
Instead of just disappearing into the wild blue yonder with his little crack whore of a girlfriend, he decided that wasn't enough.
Yeah.
After doing all of these violent acts, he goes to a gas station and decides he's just going to gamble with her money.
I don't have a shadow. What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
Watch the trial.
And T is asking, I mean, they can, but you're suing the state, and there's going to be limits as to what you can. I mean, it's it's not always an easy road to do that.
Yeah, you can't.
If you can even do anything, and the individuals would have immunity from it, but it would just it would be you'd have to sue Missouri for screwing up, and
And I guarantee you, if any of those family members could have got to him before the police, that he wouldn't have had to worry about a jury trial.
They said, "Y'all see me back here again." No, does he think he's going to win his appeal and get a new trial?
Yeah, he thinks he's going to get an appeal. He'll be back.
Yeah,
he knows he is.
Well, he's going to get an appeal, but it's not going to. He's not going to be successful. Because this was one. I mean, this is a trial that, unlike the other trials we've seen recently, this one was pretty much above board.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't.
And
didn't have to
the attorney that he did a press conference afterwards, and it's pretty harsh. It's pretty harsh because the crap that he had to go through just trying to get this, because of all the shenanigans this guy was playing.
Yep.
I guarantee you he was ready to come over that desk a million times over.
You could see it.
Mm-hmm.
You could see it the whole way through. So what's next for you, MGLaw?
Oh, well, we're about to watch A Sovereign Citizen in Judge Manning's courtroom.
That might be more cheerful.
Yeah.
That's only short though, isn't it?
It's like 20 minutes or so.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean just generally. Like, what are you going to be streaming day to day?
I'll have to find another trial.
Something else.
I can't stream them live during the day because I have to work, so I have to figure out something to do at night. Yeah. Well, good night, Frosty. Yeah, it's getting late.
Night, Frosty.
This is just a few more minutes of this. It's not too bad, and luckily I don't have to be in the office or in court in the morning. I get to be at home a little bit, so that's why I am rolling around in my chair making noise and drinking some whiskey tonight. So
cool. Orca preliminary hearing.
Yeah,
Orcas?
it's just one of their programs to. You have a lot of they have just
they're getting up on people.
Just a little bit of crime in the Atlanta area in Georgia, just a little bit. And so they're so backed up. This program is one of those where they Judge Manning, I know she does it, and maybe other judges. I guess the program, maybe Shizzy knows more about it, but it's kind of to try to clear the backlog from COVID and forward that happened.
Hey,
so they're.
Whatever happened to those cops that tased that dude at the Wendy's?
They were let off, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So that's done?
I believe so.
Under the rug?
No, they really didn't want to have that come out because that dude was not right. Not right at all. No, see, Judge Manning, my wife's been in front of Judge Manning quite a bit.
Judge Manning's awesome. I love Judge Manning.
You also have to remember some of these judges are on a circuit court, which is a little bit different than just.
She does handle stuff from Cobb County as well.
Yeah, Cobb County, probably like Fulton, Cobb, DeKalb, things like that. Those circuit court judges tend to go from they make a circuit, and there's not a whole lot of them. They're there's a few of them out there.
I'm sure the Atlanta Metro's more than the 4 counties. I mean, I knew it was Fulton County, Cobb, Gwinnett.
Jesus, Metro Atlanta goes all the way up to Tennessee.
Well, it's huge now. I mean, growing up, it was.
I'm serious. No, I joke not.
Now it's ridiculous now.
Everyone says, oh, well, you must be kidding. No, I swear it goes almost all the way to Tennessee.
Chattanooga's a suburb of Atlanta.
I swear to God, it's so annoying.
See, and for years we figured that for a long time, Birmingham and Atlanta were growing closer. Each of their metros were expanding closer to each other, that they would kind of end up almost like Dallas Fort Worth type thing. But that hadn't really happened.
Yeah.
But it's pretty developed all the way through to the state lines, both directions. So
yeah, that's why I usually go up 41 if I'm heading up to Tennessee, because it's a little bit more undeveloped and I can relax. I hate the traffic.
Make sure that we don't need to do that on. Let's get going.
Wimbishi
Kapuma.
No, your last name.
I am Kapuma.
Okay, what's your last name? Wimbishi?
Kapuma is my last name.
Okay, so what's the first one then?
Wimbeshi.
Okay, there you go. They have it reversed. Thank you. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, they have it reversed? Okay.
So it's Wimbishi Kapuma.
So your name is, your last name is Kapuma.
Yeah, she's done it all.
My last name is Kapuma.
Okay. We'll make sure I didn't want to destroy it,
It's pretty damn
too bad with my accent. So I guess they need to know that because they have it reversed.
Yes, and because of that, it's an invalid contract.
Well,
because
not necessarily. That's just a typo, but
yeah. But according to this,
we're just kind of getting started here. Okay, so I'm just trying to pronounce your name right. That's basically all that is. Okay. All right. So this is number 122 CP 214772.
Slacking, Brandon.
Here it's Kapuma Wimbishi, but it's actually Wimbishi Kapuma. I think they could probably modify that at the jail. I guess y'all want to take care of that. Okay. So we got 285 days without indictment. He had a Ferretta hearing and he's representing himself. So it's aggravated battery, willful obstruction of law enforcement officer with a felony. Officer, if you could raise your right hand for me. You swear affirm testimony about to give is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. If you state and spell your name into the microphone for the court reporter, please.
Yes, ma'am. My name is Patrick Marsh. First name is spelled Patrick. Last name is spelled Marsh, Marsch.
Marsh.
Okay, so 1 second. So, sir, what this is a preliminary hearing. Okay, it's just to establish that there's probable cause. So the DA is going to ask some questions, and then you get to ask follow-up questions. Okay, all right. So go ahead, Ms. Fields. And this is Ms. Kelly Fields. She's one of the assistant district attorneys. Go ahead, Ms. Fields.
Thank you, Judge. Officer Marsh, can you tell us, you already told us your name, but can you tell us where you work and what your title is?
Sure. I work for the City of Atlanta Police Department, and my title is rank as an officer.
Okay. And are you post-certified?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Were you post-certified on the date in question? On December the 15th of last year?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
And can you tell us what happened on that day?
Sure.
Regarding Mr. Kapuma.
Sure. So on that day, I was dispatched to a call at 1776 Peachtree Street. There was a fight going on that apparently was going on the 4th floor at the clubhouse. We had received several calls as well, arriving on scene from a passerby saying that there might be a weapon involved. So I immediately called for backup. Officer Jones and Officer Easton arrived on scene to assist me. We go up to the 4th floor. We go to the right where the clubhouse was, and we found a white male victim named Keith Johnson that had a gash to his forehead. We had asked him what had happened, and he said that he had been knocked out by the defendant.
When you say knocked out, can you tell us what that means?
Sure. So apparently the defendant said that they had noticed the victim had noticed the defendant acting in a strange manner. And when he went to put his hand on his shoulder to ask if everything was okay, he advised that the defendant hit his upper right eye with a closed fist, causing him to go to the floor and was unconscious.
Okay.
During that time.
Got an echo somewhere.
He was unconscious, but he was not unconscious when we arrived on scene. But
You were gaining consciousness.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, now you said that this happened at what address?
1776 Peachtree Street.
Is that in Fulton County?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
And can you identify the defendant and describe what he's wearing and where he is in relation to you?
You can
DA
stand if you
seems
need
like
to.
really
I can see it on the screen here, ma'am.
Yeah, that's okay.
Thank you very much. Yes, I can see the defendant. He is wearing a blue Fulton County uniform with a white shirt under it.
It's hard to pick him
Okay.
out
Let
amongst
the
the
record
crowd.
reflect that the witness has correctly identified the defendant.
All right, noted.
So we talked about
Oh,
that
well,
he rendered, that Mr. Kapuma rendered this man, Mr. Hugh,
I ain't moving the
unconscious.
camera.
And is that the basis of the aggravated battery?
Yes,
we
ma'am.
need to
So
get a
under
second camera.
the code section of 16524, parts,
don't want a
the
camera
elements of the
machine.
crime for
Cam.
aggravated battery indicate that you
Cat
render
cam.
a limb unconscious.
Yeah, get the
And so
cat
with
cam.
the brain being a member of the body, we decided to go ahead and move
Cat's over
forward with the
there.
aggravated battery
Yeah,
because
well.
the brain was rendered
So-
useless during that time.
During the
More
time
than
that
one
he was
cat in that room.
unconscious?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and did EMS
He can
arrive?
keep PayPaling me if he
Sorry?
wants.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
fine.
that's
I
the-
didn't
Yes, ma'am.
ask for any
Yeah,
money.
And what happened with that?
He's focused on you and
sorry?
not getting me
What
drunk. So
happened
I'm
with,
good.
excuse me, I'm talking
Okay,
about,
all right.
what happened with that?
So during the incident of while we were trying to get the defendant into custody, he was resisting myself and numerous officers. So one of the officers on scene had to deploy a City of Atlanta issued taser in order to try and get him into
Man, I want to
custody.
see the body
And
cam footage.
during that time, that's why we called
Chased
EMS to
his
go
ass.
ahead and have them remove the
Ride the
prongs as well as
lightning.
go ahead and check his vitals because he did appear to be acting in some type of irregulated manner, whether it could be on, just having a mental breakdown or something of some nature, but
Did
he
say
clearly needed some medical
erectile
attention, which is why we go ahead and
manner?
called EMS as well.
Was EMS called for Mr. Hugh?
Yes.
Okay, did he allow them to treat him?
He did not need EMS. When we got there, we asked him. He said that he did not need it. Some of the witnesses and the friends who were at the event were tending to the
Well,
victim.
we're waiting.
Now, with the charge of willful obstruction, was there any violence or offering of
he's
violence?
focused
or
on
just
you.
resistance?
There was no offering of violence. There was just actively resisting when
do
giving
anything.
verbal commands.
Okay.
We're waiting. All you got to do is
So-
just dangle them.
Yeah.
He didn't pay me anything.
Said that Mr. Hugh Johnson was concerned about how Mr. Kapuma was acting.
Yes. So
Can you describe how he was acting and what you were told?
yes.
What do
So
you
what I'm
want?
told by
He wants to see the
the
pants.
victim is that
I
at
had
some point
pants
this
on.
was so there was a
Do you want me
this
to
was
show
a
you that I had
company
pants
event
on?
that was
Here
going
they are.
on, and
Pants.
during the
He
course of
wants
the
to see
event,
you
at some point,
holding them
the
up.
defendant had put, according to
Never
Mr.
have
Johnson,
your
had
feet
put
in
his
your
earpods,
Why should I?
had put his AirPods into his ears, and he started.
What was that, expert?
Never have your feet and your face in the same frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah,
not?
that's always
He says he
bad.
paid you,
Yeah.
and the memo says pants.
Oh, because
Oh, you gotta
because you paid me earlier and I haven't had a drink or anything like that. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, your deal was straps and apparently pants.
No, it
Ours-
wasn't. It never
mine
was.
mine was shots. He's focused on you. So
No, that's not true, right? So it was 2 straps, and then he just paid me for nothing at all, right? You
That
paid me for
was for the
nothing.
pants.
No, he's
No.
right here at 129.
No.
He says, "How much for the pants, EU?" At 1:30, Wesley
you
Hope
said
says
pay
he
whatever
did.
you like.
At 1:30 a.m., excitable utterance says, "Pay whatever you like for the pants, Brandon."
That's what I heard.
But
and
he
then
hasn't
at
paid me since
1:31,
then.
Brandon says, "We got the pants."
But he
Yeah.
didn't say he hasn't paid me anything since then.
I don't know that.
So you haven't gotten
I don't
anything
know.
else
He
after
hasn't.
this.
I
Oh, you
can't
paid me
verify
again,
that.
have you? Have you paid
I'm
me
saying
again?
the pants should be coming off.
Oh, you
when-
have?
Yeah. So dangle, or we don't believe it.
Okay, well, I have to turn the camera off for this, though. Hang on.
That's okay.
Well, then
And then,
It's okay.
okay, I'll be back. I'll
So-
be back.
she's wearing pants. That's the
That's the
funny
same.
part.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the thing. Is
I'm
who
not
the
wearing
hell
any
wears
pants.
on stream?
Jesus.
No, man.
Yeah.
Like, go wear
If I stood up
pants.
right now, I would surprise everybody.
It's
It'd be like a 5-year-old baby.
right.
Like a
Yeah, just small.
Like a worm with a turtleneck.
Did you say a worm with a turtleneck? Oh, maybe small, but it's the cutest little thing you ever seen.
It's the cutest little thing you ever seen.
Oh, like in Deadpool.
Yes. We broke MG.
He's gone, man. This is our stream now.
He's like, screw this. I'm out of here.
Shizzy's captain now.
Did you say worm with a turtleneck?
What? You've never seen a worm with a turtleneck?
I'd rather not. Yeah. Hey. Done.
So the next one's like panties, right?
No, that's it. No more money. Stop giving me money, Brandon. No one's ever told you that, have they, Brandon? No one's ever said stop giving me money. I'm saying it now. Stop giving me money.
She'll do it for free.
Yeah.
No.
Like green card.
Stop it.
Man.
Just stop it. Stop it.
We broke MG.
Stop it.
Oh.
He's just
Stop
like,
it.
I'm out of here.
Oh, I'm here. I'm just.
I think I'm gonna take up smoking.
She doesn't want any of your money, any more of your money, Brandon.
That way they can just pay you to stop smoking.
If you want to give me money, you have to give me money for not taking clothes off. Because some channel's going to get heated very soon. What do we have? Like nothing, right?
Like what?
Dude,
Yeah, well, I mean,
nothing.
Well, I'm sure
Dude,
you're
that's
wearing
it.
something else.
That's
but-
just it. No,
Thanks,
no, and I don't have any alcohol in the house. I have to get alcohol before Friday.
Well, see, that's your problem.
You paint?
But
Yeah.
you paint. You
Huh?
can paint
Body
yourself.
paint.
Paint.
Body paint works.
Yeah.
No, I don't have any of that. I have to.
No
No,
body paint. No
no,
body
no.
paint.
I'm very odd Australian. I don't have drinks. I don't have
Hey, Gene, what's up?
anything.
Hey, Gene.
Gene, hey.
Well, Gene,
Oh, the
Brandon's
pigtails.
figured out that
Oh, take your hair down?
He can get the
Your hair
ladies
is
naked.
down. Yeah.
He
Come on,
could.
in pigtails. He
but-
wants the side pigtails.
But see, the problem is
Sideways.
now EU's getting really cold, so she just needs.
I'm getting cold.
warmed up.
I feel the cold.
There's no proof of that yet, so.
She just needs a man to warm her up.
Turn the heat on.
That's right.
You know,
That's right.
I mean-
Get up and turn the heat on.
we don't have heaters here.
Yeah,
Oh,
just
well,
get
You
up,
don't
turn
have
the heat
heaters
on.
in your.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or get up and turn the air off.
No. No.
You guys don't have heaters?
You're making it no, because
That's
like
'cause
it doesn't really
it's
get very
climate controlled
cold.
in the dome.
Yeah. Expert's gonna stroke out. What does that mean?
Nah, man.
Expert's gonna
Trust me.
stroke out. No, don't stroke. Don't
Oh
stroke.
God.
Not on this
Dude.
stream. No stroking on this
really?
stream.
Calm down. Okay, Jane
Do you,
is like,
heat your
what
house
is
with
going on?
coal, or like?
No, she's
How do you
just
do that?
frail.
What?
How do you
I
heat
am
your
frail.
house?
Yeah, I'm frail. No, like because it doesn't get that cold, so it's a really tropical climate here. So
Yeah, where she
people
is
don't
is-
pay
yeah.
to get their houses heated.
I'm sure she's
What
got air
about
conditioning. It's
central
warm and
air?
yeah. If it's tropical,
No.
so it's like
Window
yeah,
unit
air
is behind
conditioning.
her.
Yeah.
So the air.
People are more likely to have air conditioning than heating here. So because it gets super duper hot, but it really only gets super duper hot for about 8 weeks or so of the year. That's like intolerable heat. But yeah, it's most of the time it's pretty temperate. Yeah. My house is almost impossible to air condition. It's like built in the 50s.
Brand
And so
says, "Go
it's-
turn the heat on." He wants to see you all sweaty.
I'm sure he does. But that ain't happening right now. Maybe Friday. We'll see.
Maybe Friday you're going to turn the heat up.
Maybe I will. We'll see. We'll see. But Brandon,
he's got a
you
cash
have
app
spent
there.
enough money on me today.
If
Spend
you're
enough.
wanting that,
You've spent enough on me today.
No, because I'm not wearing any pants. Not showing that. That'll get you. That'll
I
get you banned.
still got my shirt on here, so y'all got work to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
in the
mean,
next 20 minutes.
Need to be spending money on getting Zach out of jail.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. In fact, right now, when I look up there, actually,
Exactly.
I'm working on his
Wim.
new branding. I'm working on Zach's stuff at the
And
moment.
Wim, I agree. Yes, that it doesn't. You don't need a heater, and it's not that bad there after our summer.
Where?
Because we had weeks of 100-degree temperatures.
Where is
every
Wim at?
day. What's that?
Where's Wim?
Oklahoma.
He's in Oklahoma as well.
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had weeks of 100+ degree weather, not including heat index. The heat indexes were in the 110s, 120s.
Never hit 100 here this year.
Yeah, same.
Sucked.
A few times.
Brandon, I took my shirt off.
No,
and then
he's
I
talking
took the
about me. Pony up, Farrell. Yeah, y'all are anywhere near. You hadn't even tried. So
I'm gonna have to get going in about 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, you don't want to see my tidy whities.
Oh no!
I don't wear tidy whities, so it doesn't matter. I wouldn't be able to show them anyway.
Please no, Brandon, don't pay him for that, please.
I'm 90% commando.
Let's keep going.
Being very incoherent, saying a whole bunch of stuff that Mr. Johnson didn't understand. And according to him and several other people at this event, they had never seen the defendant act in this manner before. And so when Mr. Johnson went to put his hand on the defendant's shoulder, that's when the defendant acted out.
Glasses, watch.
An altercation happened.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have any other statements you'd like to make to the court regarding these two charges pertinent to this case?
That's pertinent to this case, no.
Okay. That's all I have for right now. It's your witness, Mr. Kapuma.
All right, Mr. Kapuma.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. I have a question, right? Because according to this warrant, first of all, it shows here that he was called for a fight.
Okay, stand by. What questions do you have for the officer?
Yes, that's who I'm asking, because I can't see him, so.
Ask
a question. You can't see him on your.
Okay, so he was called in for a fight, right? So according to this statement, if Johnson put his hand first on me, then I reacted to that with a punch. It doesn't show how hard he pushed my shoulder.
Tired.
It was in a hostile situation because I was at a party.
Okay, so stand by. What is your question?
So
who, what, where, why, when?
So in that situation, who was the aggressor in that situation? Because he put his hands first on me.
Just ask a question.
This way.
So, okay, so based on when we spoke to the witness, I had the witness actually show me how he placed his hand on the defendant. And Mr. Johnson said he basically just placed his hand in a almost caring way, just a concerning way on his shoulder to see if everything was okay. And that's when the defendant acted out and hit the victim.
Okay, next question.
So is there a written signed statement from the witness about that incident to describe what you're saying so that they sworn like a sworn affidavit?
Who, what, where, why,
I'm
when?
gonna have to object. Compound question. Can we?
All right. So you ask a question like this. Do you have a written statement from the victim?
Do I have written a statement? No. Do I have it on body camera? Yes.
Okay. Next question.
So there's body camera for the entire event from all 5 officers of what happened.
Like that body cam.
Yes. So my body camera was activated from the time I arrived into the parking deck before I made contact with anybody up until the very end of the incident as well. So there is a full body camera footage from start to finish, including a body camera footage from each of the officers during the interaction as well.
Okay, so from my recollection, right?
Whoa.
No.
If you want to say something, you have to ask him a question. So she asked him questions, so you ask follow-up questions to what she asked.
Okay. So based on the body cam video that you're saying, does it show that I was tased until I passed out or died and then had to be resuscitated?
You're alive.
So the body camera footage from Mr. Jones,
Yeah.
I would appear because Mr. Jones is the one who tased the defendant, but the
Mr.
defendant at no
Jones
point in
and me.
time lost any consciousness or at any point in time had to be resuscitated by Grady.
Okay. Next question.
So this, I understand. So when will I be able to see the body cam? Because I haven't had a chance to look at it, see what exactly happened on that event.
You'll get your
All of
chance.
that gets turned over at discovery, but allegedly you were there. So what's your next question for him?
According to the law, which I'm new to,
Now you're asking
did
for a
I
legal
give
conclusion.
consent to be arrested? Because according to the
Yes, Webb. I want to see it too.
Judge,
All right,
counsel-
so this
I don't know if I should
this
call him
this is
counsel,
for
but-
Farrell.
That's
because
actually-
Farrell wanted me to stand up, so I'll stand up. Here you go.
The baby's arm holding an apple.
You're welcome.
And yes, Wim, I want to see the body cam footage. I want to see his ass get tased.
I want to see
Hey,
the tasing
This
also.
this chick on the right, Kay Bosk. Okay, what is
That
is
is,
she?
she's the court reporter, and
She's
this
the court
is
She's talking into a microphone.
he's talking into
Yeah.
it. It's a dictation machine.
It's a
so that-
dictation machine, so she's actually
Is her background
recording.
the stadium, and she's trying to blur it out because
Looks like she's in the office. That's like
Yeah, she's in the
shelving
office.
and like a,
That is
a
shelving
desk,
back there,
a
yeah.
credenza
That's shelving.
desk
It looks like a
yeah.
scoreboard.
No,
I thought it said
no, so-
Hooters.
well, she could be at Hooters. I mean,
Yeah, see.
but she's actually that's a dictation machine that records. So she can go back and actually type everything out that she needs to. She's also typing things out, but that's what
She's probably not typing much with one hand.
yeah. I mean, and that's they've started using that quite a bit more because it ends
Yeah.
up being quite a bit more accurate for them.
MG, you don't type with one hand?
What's that?
You've never
Yeah, I
typed with
can.
one
It's
hand?
not easy. I have, but
Shizzy
yeah,
does.
she's talking into it. Everything that's being said, she's just repeating it into the little funnel there. So,
And all of her court documents, like this guy's a moron, this guy's a moron, this guy's a moron, this guy's a moron. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Brandon, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Shizzy has a shirt. The expert has a shirt. I have a shirt on.
Yeah.
And I don't. No shirt.
No shirt.
Because you paid for it to
No
go
pants.
away. And no
Two
pants.
top on.
There.
Or black bar.
See,
Done.
she's cold.
We're even.
She's cold.
Yeah.
Even.
I think we're all paid
Stevens.
up there, Brandon. Everyone.
Even Stevens.
Yep.
It's an ice cream dispenser.
It does look
She's eating all the ice cream. Let's.
He's been testifying, and so we object to testifying.
So
It's asking for a legal.
did you give consent to be arrested? Did he give you his consent to be arrested?
Yeah,
Your Honor, he did not consent to get arrested, but based on the elements of the crime, we had enough probable cause to make the arrest.
Okay, next question.
Because based on my understanding,
No. Next question. If you want to say something later, you can, but what's your next question for him?
okay, so in terms of the resisting arrest, is it not my right not to resist if there's no jurisdiction over me?
Stand by.
No jurisdiction over him. All right.
You said stand
Argument
up?
again.
No, I told him to stand by. I didn't know if you had an objection.
Yes, I have a judge. I understand you're giving him leeway, and I understand the reason for that. However, counsel has been not asking direct questions on cross, and he has been testifying numerous times. So we just have an overall objection to that testifying that's been happening from pretty much from the start of this questioning. So we ask that he ask direct questions, not have this kind of commentary in addition to his questions.
So what you're asking is him to draw a legal conclusion.
No,
So
what we're asking
what's your next
prosecutor
question?
is you get your head out of your ass and pay attention to what's going on in court.
What's your next question for him?
That would be my suggestion.
Because for me, it's mainly about consent and jurisdiction.
Hold on.
Mhm.
But that's argument. But what question do you have for him?
I don't have any questions for him.
All right.
Okay,
Anything
you're
else for
done.
the officer?
Okay.
I do have some redirect.
Okay, go ahead.
So, officer, I know I was calling this the victim Hugh. That was my mistake. I meant to say the correct, and the correct victim's name was Keith Johnson. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Johnson was hit by Mr. Kapuma.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and that's all I have.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Any follow-up based on those questions that she asked?
Basically, not really.
Okay. Thank you,
Okay.
officer. Stay safe out there.
Thank you very much, Your
And
Honor. Stay safe as well.
All right. Go ahead with the argument. Let's hear from the state.
So, Judge, I believe that we have met our burdens for our probable cause for the first charge, which is aggravated battery. The defendant did render Mr. Keith Johnson's brain useless by, rendering him unconscious for a period of time, where he did, fortunately regain consciousness, but he was rendered unconscious for a little while after he was struck by Mr. Kapuma. And as far as the willful obstruction, we understand there was no violence or offering of violence against, the officers and Mr. Marsh and other officers at the party. So we suggest that should be a misdemeanor and not a felony. But other than that, we think there's probable cause for both charges, as just stated by myself and the state.
All right. Do you want to respond? Now, this is where you give argument. So now is your chance to give argument.
Okay, so first of all, based on just this warrant, my name is spelled in capital letters. It's in reverse. From my understanding of law, that's the name of a strawman or a corporation. So that does not apply to me because it says the accused is capitalized. That's a corp.
What?
When do they teach you that in law school? Do you remember that? It's like right around the first or second day, maybe. It's so basic, It's the all capital spelling of the name. It just,
in the contract class, right?
Excuses you of everything.
Yeah.
It's civil procedure and
it's all
contracts. All caps and reversing the names. So he's got his last name first. So yeah.
I mean, I think they could take a few notes out of the Brooks Yohn School of Law.
Yeah.
The Book of Yohn.
Yeah.
They obviously don't have the newest edition of the Blue Book.
Yeah. They need an updated Black's Law Dictionary.
Yeah.
But if you don't get rid of your old one though, in case
exactly, Lex. I don't remember that. It's been like 14 years, but it's been longer than that since I was a 1L. But
I just realized I need to sign everything in all caps.
I know.
So that way it just doesn't count.
Yeah.
I should do that also. Bank contracts. Ooh, that would be so good.
Mm-hmm.
You be Nut Shizzy Whiz.
Yeah.
Or is it Whiz Nut Shizzy?
Nut Whiz Shizzy.
In all
That sounds like a rapper.
That would be nuts.
No, Whiz
Just
Shizzy.
nuts.
Just nuts.
It's all cashews.
These nuts.
These nuts.
My Lord.
He almost won an election too.
Sure.
Who, the defendant?
These nuts.
Yeah.
I don't know him.
He was a write-in. It was a short story.
You go on.
Corporation and a strawman, which
corporation
has
and
no
strawman.
bearing to me. And in this matter, I do not give consent or agree to represent my strawman in this case because I'm a
you're a strawman. That's right.
sovereign
You're a
being.
straw man.
I'm an internationally protected person. But at the same
Oh,
time, from my understanding of the constitutional law,
Anybody else
which
here
is the law
internationally
of the
protected?
land, I have to
I've
give
got plenty of
informed
it.
consent or sign
Or
a
consent
contract
to be
in order
arrested?
to be
There's nothing
judged
there.
or in order for the case to move forward
No.
in this
No.
regard.
No.
Because
This happens
according
against
to
your
the
will, buddy.
Fifth Amendment, one of the things is before I can be arrested or detained, I have to be indicted. I have not been indicted.
No.
Yeah, for
One,
a grand jury.
I did not give
capital
consent
offense.
to be arrested or be to
And for a capital offense or infamous crime, which knocking the dude out is serious bodily harm. Probably it's a felony. So most felonies are considered, infamous crimes. Capital
Not
offenses are
Georgia.
those
That's
which,
just a weekend.
but it happens all the time. But they, in Georgia, it's not required for them to indict you before they can arrest you, especially when they caught him right after the act.
Yeah.
And
If you're caught in the act, they don't need to indict for that.
Yeah, it's just that there will probably be a grand jury impaneling for this at some point, since it is a felony. But he could be in jail for a year in Fulton County before.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It'll end up being time served by the time he ever even goes in front of a grand jury.
Maybe,
so they'll just be like.
I think he's already been there like 10 months because he's already got a bond. I think he's had his initial hearing. This is preliminary hearing.
Yeah,
and they still haven't indicted him.
Here's an idea. If you want to go through the legal system really much quicker, if you want the legal system, if you want your trial to go much quicker and not sit in jail for a long time awaiting trial, stop fucking up.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I'm tired, and I'm also I've never done trial stuff, man. I stay away from courts. But
can you wait just a few minutes till we finish, or?
Yeah.
I know you're about to duck out. We'll
no,
get
I
through
was going to ask about because you said Fifth Amendment. I was like, doesn't you have to, when you do a filing, don't you have to put 14th Amendment in there? The Fifth Amendment applies.
Well, and the issue is he's claiming that he's required to have a grand jury indictment, which the Supreme Court has never incorporated the Fifth Amendment. The grand jury portion of it, the grand jury issue has never been incorporated by the Supreme Court to apply to the states. So the Fifth Amendment, the grand jury portion only applies in federal court under the Fifth Amendment. Yeah. Each state has their own rules. So I said Georgia does it, but they don't require it before you're arrested. Some states do, but they don't require it before you're arrested in Georgia. So.
Man, look at the big brains on MG.
Yeah, he's.
I just know they don't require because I've watched enough Judge Manning to know that they get to these preliminary hearings and they haven't been indicted by a grand jury yet. So obviously they can be arrested and sit in jail because they can't post bond before they're ever indicted.
And that look on Judge Manning is priceless because it's like that good all the time. Just like
she has some good expressions in this one.
Be tried under this jurisdiction because I operate under common law. That's my jurisdiction. Common law, God's law, and natural law. I do not consent to be tried by the Admiralty law system, which is evident by the God fringe on the flag and the eagle at the top, which shows this is maritime law, which is commercial law. And as a sovereign being, I report to God. God is my judge. As it relates to how I interact with other humans, it's only by common law, which is when I injure a human being, and that's also dealt with in the common law court.
Well, the thing is a lot of our criminal statutes are based off of old common law, old English common law. Anyway, we just codified it in statute.
Yeah.
So it's still related to the old common law, and and there's still there's case law that relies upon old common law. So it's, we're both a statute and common law system.
Well, unless you're in New Orleans.
Yeah, then they use the Napoleonic Code. Yeah. They do things a little differently.
Yeah, it's a little screwy.
But yeah, she's like, I don't know about this guy.
I love it.
Oh, I know I hit play.
And based on my international status, because I am a king where I come from, an internationally protected person. So according to Executive Order 143107, which is human rights, this is a violation of human rights. From my understanding of and my rights, my unalienable rights. If I have not given consent to be tried or to be held or to be detained by or given jurisdiction authority to the officer, and they arrest me, that's a kidnapping, and I'm being held hostage right now. Because according to the Constitution, I have to be indicted before I can be detained.
Constitution that you don't recognize.
That's according to the Fifth Amendment rights. And the Constitution, from what I understand, is still the law of the land.
Your understanding is all wrong, buddy.
Because according to the Supremacy Clause, Every case, if I can cite one case,
yes,
which is the Madison versus Marbury, every case
Marbury
in that
versus
situation,
Madison.
which cited that case as into the legality of the constitutional unconstitutionality of any situation was overturned by the Supreme Court. So in this situation, yes, I did react to Keith Johnson putting his hands on me. Though the witness may have said something, they might have been friends with Keith Johnson. I reacted to a situation. For every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. He touched me first. I reacted.
Isaac Newton.
When the officers came to arrest me, I didn't do anything
Can't argue
wrong
with
but
Isaac.
defend myself. I've been charged with willful obstruction.
Try.
According to the Constitution, according to my unalienable rights, according to my human rights, I've got the right to defend myself. If I put up on anyone over here and just touch you on your shoulder without even asking for your consent,
proportionality.
Some people would tase me. The officer will shoot me. But if the same thing happens to me, he touched me first. I reacted off of that. That's self-defense.
Okay, anything else?
Anything else?
Yeah, she's just
All right.
like,
So I'll find probable cause on the aggravated battery, and then the misdemeanor, the willful obstruction will be reduced to a misdemeanor. And we'll go ahead and address bond. Let's see, because right now.
we go.
Bond. Let's see. Right now, as of June 27th, there is a $30,000 good bond.
Trial.
And here's pre-trial
The defendant
services.
has 3 cycles. The defendant's last arrest was May the 9th, 2021 in Dunwoody, Georgia, for terroristic threats act and possession of a firearm during commission of a felony and criminal attempt to commit a felony. There was no disposition for that arrest, and there are no convictions listed in the GCIC. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
All right. Go ahead with your bond argument, sir.
First of all, it was just a punch, and I don't see how it can be a felony. And if it was pretty much a misdemeanor at best, because one, it was self-defense, misdemeanor at best, the maximum is 1
Pretty
year,
much.
and I've already done 10 months in jail, pretty much for one punch in self-defense, in defense of myself.
So you'll do 2 more. How's that?
At the same time,
Pretty
I
much.
feel like I have already done the time for this.
No, that's minimal.
Okay, anything else? All right, what says the state?
Judge, the state is inclined to keep the bond as is because the severity of the injury that took place.
He's
That's
really
Mr.
trying
Keith Johnson, he
hard.
rendered unconscious.
She
The
needs to
punch
lay off the
that,
crack
you know,
pipe, dude.
Counsel was trying to
She's just, like,
minimize is very
spazzing over
severe.
there.
The punch took him out. So because of that, and then him resisting arrest, we
She's
do
been
believe
drinking.
that the $30,000 bond is sufficient.
All right, so it'll be
Chill
no
out,
further contact with Keith Johnson. Stay away from 1777 Peachtree Street Northeast. You're gonna
Clubhouse.
have no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. It's going off my bond order of 627. You have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical, employment, as long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment schedule, and the exact location you'll be working. Are you still gonna live in Roswell, sir?
Sandy Springs.
Sandy Springs, okay.
Roswell,
All right.
Sandy Springs.
So just supply a good address to the jail upon release. So
Just a port.
15,000 count 1 and count 2 is reduced to misdemeanor, so that'll be 5,000. So $20,000 good bond. Best of luck to you, sir.
Best of luck,
Yeah.
King,
Jeez.
Your Highness.
Prosecutor she's tweaking over there.
There's
I was
so,
like,
it's first thing in the morning. She's having to deal with that bullshit.
I don't know.
I mean,
she's tweaking out
she's
because she was just like
hadn't
the
had her
judge is
coffee.
looking at her going, "Are you going to object or something?"
Yeah.
Like she's just like, "Well, I'm stupid. What
Yeah,
is going on? Drink more coffee." I don't know.
Yeah. I think
So she got
didn't
her
get
own
coffee.
channel or something. Can you like go
Judge
look
Manning
up?
does. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
watch Judge Manning stuff. She did.
Cool.
She does stuff almost every day.
Nice.
She used to do a lot of protective orders as well, but she doesn't
Mhm.
stream those. She had couple of really nasty ones.
Yeah,
I
I can't.
And she
do
stopped
any-
streaming those.
I can't do any of the Judge Manning stuff.
Why?
It would get me in trouble.
No.
Because I'm in Georgia. Because I'm in Georgia.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
No, it's a fact. Conflict of interest.
Yeah. I would actually have to ask permission.
You have to get permission.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
See, they
Alrighty.
don't stream anything in Oklahoma, so
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I've
you have
asked a couple of judges.
You have Judge Manning, you have Judge McBurney. Judge McBurney's a good one to watch.
Judge McBurney's pretty good. He's had a couple of trials. There was I think a code of two defendant murder trial a couple of months ago. I almost covered it. It was like a 3-day trial. I almost covered it.
McBurney is probably one of the nicest judges you could ever run into. If you're a criminal and you get in front of Judge McBurney, do not be an asshole to him, because he is very, very accommodating.
Yeah.
I've actually got some Zoom footage from one of the hearings my wife was in. He's very accommodating. Trust me, he's a nice guy.
Her pre-trial. Yeah, I love when she does that.
Yeah, that's her little gimmick.
It's basically to let the pretrial services know it's their turn. You know, it wasn't Bostic this time. It was somebody else today. Usually it's Bostic. They have a lot of fun banter back and forth.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to have to get running, guys. Yep. I have to go pick up my little girl.
Just put some pants on.
But yeah, that. I'm not sure if he's still here, Mr. Brandon, but thank you for your kind
I hadn't seen him in a little bit. He may have fallen asleep.
He may have. That's right. It's nighttime there, isn't it? I always forget.
Yeah, it's 2 o'clock where he is, I think.
Yeah.
I think
Well, you have a good one to you.
Thank you very much. And might see you guys somewhere around the interwebs tomorrow or the next day. Yep, for sure. Thank you guys. Have a great night.
Bye.
Sleep well. Bye.
Well, bye. All right. Now that we've got the sausage party underway, I'm just kidding. I've got to be heading out myself.
Yeah, it's 1 o'clock. I said I don't have court tomorrow. I'm going to be late to the office, so I'm not too worried about it. I've got the morning away from the office.
Why don't you take us out?
Yeah, we will get going. What y'all got going? What you doing? Grift yourself some, expert, for the 17 poor souls who are still here.
I'm not doing anything. No, man. Be sure that you're subscribed to Shizzy. Trying to get him over. What are you at now? 402? Well, that's the last I saw.
Or something. I think I'm like 70 or 80 something away from.
Yeah, and I haven't checked in a little bit.
I look at it like in the morning. Go, oh, do I need to grind it a little harder?
Yep. I'm 36 away from 500. So.
Yeah,
you're 36, man. That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
awesome.
Let's
I've gained
do that.
about 10 today, I think.
We need to figure out why it's 1,000 for you and not 500.
Yeah, I don't know why it never has updated. Now I've had my account since like 2006, so I don't know.
Branded account, I bet.
Yeah,
that's why. You're a branded account.
So,
if you're a branded account, you can't even receive. I
can't get gift memberships.
Yeah. Oh, geez, that's why, dude. Yeah, you're.
So how do I
do? What's the point of a brand, though? It's like
you'll have to go in and figure out how to get unbranded. I don't know how that's done.
Can't. I don't think you can.
You might have to start a whole new channel and just redirect everybody over there.
But why? What's the deal with when you're branded? It's like you can add other channels to you and something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't see what any of that's an advantage. I don't even know why. I don't know. I'm so confused by the branded account thing. But it seems like it sounds like big business, you know.
Yeah, I don't know why it would.
I lucked out and didn't sign.
I wonder if I could switch it to a different, because I've got a secondary on this that we use for the kids and stuff.
Like if you get yeeted from YouTube, all your other channels get yeeted too.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. I don't know how.
So, well, that's what it doesn't make sense. I don't understand why the branded account.
With the branding, I think I
I'm
can
not talking about
change
like
my
why you did it.
branded
I'm talking
account.
about like why YouTube has it.
Yeah.
I don't understand the advantage.
Yeah,
I'm
I
sure
don't
there
know.
is one. I'm just not smart enough to figure it out. And
Yeah.
then there's that overlying factor that I don't care.
Yeah, I think there's
maybe
a
reach
way
out
to.
to YouTube and ask them if they can unbrand you. I don't know. That's
Yeah, I
the
don't
only
know.
thing I could think of. But
It seems
but
like I can actually I can add. I think I can do. There's some things there that I can do. I just can't while I'm looking at this stuff.
Lex says you can get unbranded, but it's a hassle. So
yeah.
Anyhow, I do have to.
I think there's a way to. Oh well, I'll deal with it some other time. I'm not gonna worry about it
But
right
like,
now.
so what does it take away though if you go unbranded? So that's where
you lose hours or something like that.
Well, I mean, I've got like 5,000 hours, so I can get my hours back.
Well, hold on, wait a second. First of all, I mean, let's just between us, like if you are trying to go unbranded, why? So you can get free memberships and things.
Well, it changes. It will change it to because everybody else can in America can do 500 subs to get memberships and things like that.
Yeah, but you're
and
like 50 away, aren't you, from 1,000?
Yeah, but if I'm in a branded account, they're going to make me get 1,000.
No, he's 50 away from 500.
Yeah.
Well, I had to get 1,000.
Yeah, no.
Get 1,000.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's just you guys just got that like 3 months ago.
Yeah, if I had to go to 1,000, I'd just keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't change anything that I'm doing.
It took me a year to get to. Let's see, hold on. It took me a year to get to 1,000.
Damn, you're awesome. So it's taken me just a year to get barely to 500. I must be doing something wrong. I'm not sexy enough. That's what it is. I'm so disappointed.
Yeah, I've only been doing the streaming since like April, really. So
yeah,
we'll see.
That's pretty good. You guys are much better than me.
I put out 3 videos a day every day for a year.
3 videos a day every day for a year.
Yeah, I've got over 1,300 videos just on YouTube.
Jeez,
like
that's why
1,350 videos. And
that's
I've been doing
more
it for 2 years now.
Yeah, you just celebrated the 2-year anniversary. I was there for that.
Yeah, and now I do streaming. I said I didn't stream for the first year, hardly at all. And then now I do just stream once a day mostly. I like to throw in a video every once in a while. Jeez, just.
See, I can move my channel to a Google account or a different brand account.
Yeah, you don't want to move it to a brand account.
No, but it's like there's a way to move it. No, I don't know what it's going to do to me, so I don't want to play with it right now.
Yeah, I would definitely do some research to see what it would take. But
good night, Wim.
Go for the 1,000.
Yeah, well,
you got nothing to lose. And I will tell you the slow growth helps out. I mean, to me, it feels much. I feel much more comfortable with it because you learn a lot of the mistakes before you do get monetized.
I do not want to be YouTube famous.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Man, those people always get busted.
Yeah. Yeah.
An expert knows he's YouTube famous. So
yeah.
Yeah, right. Look at Deventi. She got 4,000 subs in I think she had 3,000 subs in 3 weeks.
Well, look at Rob with Law and Lumber, from the Depp trial, where he did a video about the knife on the end of the bed.
Mm-hmm.
In the wood frame, and he got 100,000 something ridiculous almost overnight, tens of thousands of people.
Really,
it was just one video
off of one video and views. So he had the views and the hours. He was monetized as soon as he applied for it.
There's a chick that happened to that. She came up. It was like a Saturday morning. Her shorts came up, and
I like that.
Yeah, but it's she's from California, and she's like a I don't know, preacher or something like that, and she's talking about revelations, and in her 30-second video, it got her to, geez, I mean, it got her monetized. Everything. She has a huge channel, but it's if you like see it, I watch it every once in a while. It'll pop up, and she'll have, let's say she has 10,000 subs, she might have 100 people watching.
Yeah.
You know, so I didn't know about Law and Lumber. I've never seen his stuff.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing. I don't want to see his
Yeah,
stuff.
Rob got, it was that one video.
No, it was
that he
just one
did that-
video.
yeah,
That
he got.
no, he had the
was
subs and
instant
the hours It was,
overnight.
yeah, instant. I mean, that's like hitting the algorithm and not even realizing you're hitting the algorithm. Just seeing something and going, you
That's
know
not
what? I
right,
noticed this right here. I work with wood, and this is impossible. And
Yeah,
he
the type
posted
of
it
wood
up.
that it was, and yeah, it just
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, but most people, they get YouTube famous. That's my, I just came up with that, something stupid. And they're all of a sudden, they say, oh, cool, and they do another video, and then it's like they get a strike. And it's like, what happened to that? Why? It's going through all these, complaints and everything else. Doing that slow burn. I mean, it's like Shizzy. I mean, man, he's a seasoned veteran.
I feel more comfortable doing it. I mean, and also I can be a little more restrained whenever I'm on other people's channels and not spur out. Like, you see some of these people, they get, they jump on someone's channel and they're just like, I don't know how to react. I don't know how to act because I've been doing this on my stuff for so long.
The three
Yeah,
of
they
us
have to have a reaction to everything. And it's like, you're just sitting there going,
or they lose their cool over sitting backstage for 3 minutes. You know what you're dressing up for Halloween now, right, expert?
I got your outfit. Oh,
You just got to reverse color. It's going to be a yellow out with a blue mask.
Oh, that
yeah,
would
I'm going to be
hilarious.
Captain Swiss.
Captain Swiss. Jeez.
Or Swede, Captain Swede.
Yeah, Captain Swede.
So of Captain Ukraine. I saw him somewhere. Where was that? I don't know. I left. I was like,
We're still live. We're still live.
Yeah, I know.
Take us out. Take
Yeah.
us out, big man.
All right. Thanks
Yeah, this is the
everybody
type of
for
stuff I
coming
talk
in.
about
We're
all
going
the
to
time.
hit the outro here, and we'll see y'all next time. I'll figure out when I'm going to do another stream. I'll post it in Discord and Twitter and wherever.
Well, they need to follow you on Twitter and follow you on here.
Yeah.
And then
Yes.
you'll have all that cool stuff going on.
Yeah.
Yep. So, good night, everybody. Y'all have a good one.